why? Why not Central? Why not Ramsey? So we asked your fellow students that very question, and here's what they had to say.
Personally, Opelika is just one of those people that we've been going back and forth with since we were in 7th grade. So, you know, it's a friend-on-friend battle, but at the end of the day, it's just another opponent. I just want them to know, like, all the internet stuff doesn't matter. We get on the field Friday night, it's gonna be a different story.
You know what I'm saying? It's a rivalry week. You know what I'm saying? We just got to show them why we're the #1 team in the state. They've been talking a whole lot of trash. I feel like it would be really important because it's Opelika, we Auburn. I haven't been here that long, so I gotta tell, like, it's gonna be a real big deal.
Those are some of our football players and their reasons for our rivalry with Opelika. But what is yours? Now back to Maya and Lily with the news.
Opelika Week, arguably the most scary, stressful, but exciting week of the year. Many dress-up days are normal, but one thing many people don't understand is why we wear unicorns. Well, I decided to try to get to this true story on why we wear unicorns on Opelika game day. The story goes, in 2018, 2 girls decided to dress up as unicorns on Twin Day. Well, they decided to post on social media saying, #UnicornsHateOpelika. In response to Opelika's antagonist comments due to this unicorn scandal, they decided to wear this to the game. Ever since then, it's been a tradition to wear unicorns to the Opelika game, because who could hate unicorns, right? But let's see some theories some other teachers have about why we wear unicorns.
I know exactly why we wear a unicorn for Opelika Week. Okay, break down the word into its 2 root words. Corn. I'm only saying this for the interview because so uni, when you break it down, it means one, just one, right? The one thing. And then corn, it means disgusting. So, hey, Opelika, you are one thing. Yucky. That's why we wear unicorns.
You learn something new every day. Get your tickets and come support your Tigers this Friday. And don't forget to dress like a unicorn.
Hello and welcome back to AHS Countdown. I'm your host, Max Mesman, and I'm joined alongside co-hosts Cal Floyd, Fabiola Sanchez, and Taylor Gottney. Now today we got a big one, the biggest rivalry in the state, in fact, Auburn versus Opelika. Today's game marking the 97th time that these teams have ever played against each other. Opelika actually leads the series 47-46 with 3 ties in the series, but looking to change that is the #1 team in 7A football and the #1 team actually in the state for the last 3 consecutive weeks, your Auburn Tigers, who last year they beat Opelika on the road in a close one, 16-14. Now let's start off with the Bulldogs. They're currently sitting at 4-2 and are currently in a 3-way tie with Dothan and Central for second place in Region 2. But do not let the 2 losses fool you. This is a tough team. You might remember that just 3 weeks ago, they had upset the then #1 team in 7A in Central at home in an overtime win by a score of 17-14. But ever since then, they have lost 2 consecutive games. One tough one on the road against Prattville. They lost in overtime. And then this past week, they lost on the road as well against Theodore. But that all being said, what are some things that Auburn should be worried about facing this Opelika team?
You know, say what you will about Opelika's offense, but in terms of their defense, they've been able to keep their opponents relatively low scoring, and Auburn specifically, with their games having a history of them scoring really, really high and it being a really high-scoring game for them, they should definitely watch out because Opelika's been really good about keeping the opponent's score down.
Opelika's offense has been looking really good as well. Their quarterback, number 16, he had 2 touchdowns last game, and their wide receiver, Miller, number 3, had 1 touchdown. That was pretty good.
Like Cal said, they hold their opponents really low scoring, and like Fabiola said, they look really good on offense, so I think it's going to be a really close game.
Yeah, and then if you're Opelika, you look across the street and you see Auburn, who, like I said, is the #1 team in 7A as well as in the state for the 3rd consecutive week. And coming off of a 42-21 win over Ramsey, the Tigers will continue to look very sharp. What are some ways that this Auburn Tigers team will beat this Opelika rival?
Now, something Auburn was good at last game specifically was getting those turnovers. We actually got 3 forced turnovers that game, 1 being forced turnover on downs, as well as 2 interceptions, even including a pick 6 by our number 19, Octavian Brown.
For us, Clyde Pittman's last game, record-breaking performance, he included 2 passing touchdowns with no interceptions, the second one breaking the all-time career passing touchdown with 39, also his 9th passing touchdown of the season.
If you look at Auburn's margin, 221-77, it's a huge point margin, and just by looking at their matchups, just like blowouts, Lee, Jeff Davis, even Ramsey was a blowout, so I think if we can score a lot of points and just run away with it, we can win this game.
Yes, and not only is this a huge rivalry matchup, but it is also a huge in-region game for both teams, which you look at Auburn's side, if Auburn wins this game, they would not only be 5-0 in regional play, but they would also, with a win from Dothan away at Central, they would also be in a huge lead in the region as well. And then you look at Opelika's side, with a win today and a Central win against Dothan, they would be the outright leaders, for the time being at least, in the region. So, that being said, what are some things that Auburn needs to improve on from last week's 42-21 win against Ramsey that will be crucial for this game?
Right. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, but last show I mentioned something, and I think it was very specifically shown in last week's game, which was that Auburn tends to fall off defense-wise in the second half, which is exactly what they did against Ramsey last week. We were up 42-7, and then going into the second half, almost immediately they got 2 very quick touchdowns, so that went from 42-7 to 42-21, and we lost that. We had such a huge lead, and we lost about half of it very, very quickly. And I think just keeping that effort going throughout the whole game is going to be really, really important.
Yeah, and also Auburn had 3 turnovers last game, 2 interceptions by Davis Harson, and 1 turnover on downs. Just like being more aggressive can really help. But also Auburn just needs to be less careless with the ball.
Yeah, some things like Cal and Fabiola said in the Ramsey game were the slow start in the second half and just not being super aggressive in the second half. And the first drive of Ramsey was amazing with that 40-plus yard touchdown pass. So we just got to come out with fire and keep playing with fire the whole game and just limit the dangerous Opelika run.
And with that, we move into our keys to the game. Now, both teams have different X factors that can help them take over not only any game, but this game right here. Now, what do you think those X factors are or will be in this game?
As we kind of mentioned earlier, Opelika's ability to kind of slow down the game, keep it low scoring like that is going to be really interesting matched up against Auburn, like I said, who specifically has a really high scoring season so far. So seeing that matchup in between a slower paced game that Opelika's been used to this season matched up with Auburn is going to be really interesting.
With us having an elite running back group with Davion Williams, Tyler Flakes, and Jalen Griffin, as well as switching with Pittman and Harshan, they will be really great with confusing Opelika's defense.
I really think what comes down to this game is our ability to run the ball. Fabiola said, that running back room is just elite. And I think it'll really confuse Opelika's defense when we have Davey on the power back and then just put Tyler Flakes and Jalen in the speed backs, just kind of change the pace of tempo. And I think if we cause a lot of turnovers on defense, our corners and D-line have to play really great today.
Yes, and with that, we move into our player profiles where we each highlight one player, one on offense, one on defense, and one on special teams that we think will be crucial to the game. Now, who do y'all have as y'all's player profiles for this week?
I think for the defensive pick, we got number 19, Octavian Brown. He's a senior. He plays linebacker. He had that big pick 6 in the second quarter last game, and I think he's going to be really crucial in this next game.
For offense, I would say number 13, Clyde Pittman, our senior quarterback. He threw 2 touchdowns with 0 turnovers last game. The all-time leader in career passing touchdowns in Auburn High School history, and he'll continue to be great with giving us victories.
My player profile is number 33, Towns McGoo. He's a kicker. He's a junior. He's coming off that injury the past few games. He hasn't really been kicking for us, but last game we saw him do the kickoffs. He touched back almost every single time. He's just a really good kicker, and I think looking back at that game-winning field goal against Hoover, I think he can be really clutch for us in the stretch in this game.
And now we move into our last segment, which is the Friday night lineup, where we will all pick who we think is going to win tonight's biggest matchups all across the state. And we're going to start off with a matchup between two teams that really need a win. It's in Auburn's region, Region 2, and it's Lee Montgomery, who is currently 0-5 on the season and 0-3 in region play. And they're going away to face Jeff Davis, who is currently 1-4 and is also 0-3 in regional play. Who do y'all think is going to win this game?
I think, honestly, if you have to pick between the two of them, I think it's got to be Jeff Davis, as they've been able to get at least one win this season.
I'm also going to go with Jeff Davis just for that.
I think it'll be a good Montgomery matchup, but I think Lee Montgomery will come with his first win today.
Yeah, and I'm going to say Jeff Davis. I think Lee Montgomery, it's not your year. I'm sorry, Lee Montgomery. It's just not your year. You're going 0-6. Jeff Davis also, they might get a couple other upsets the rest of the year, but this will probably be one of their last wins of the season or one of their last big wins. So I got Jeff Davis at home, and now we move into a pretty big matchup, or at least it has one big team in it. A Region 1 matchup between Foley, who is currently 2-3 on the season and 1-1 in Region 1 play, and they're going away to Fairhope, who is currently 5-0. And the only other undefeated team in the state besides Auburn. They're currently 5-0 on the regular season and 2-0 in Region 1 play. Who do y'all got between Foley and Fairhope?
I think it still has to be Fairhope. I mean, undefeated doesn't get you all the way, but especially up against a 2-3 team specifically, I think Fairhope definitely has this.
For sure. I have to go Fairhope as well.
Like you said, the only other undefeated team, I think Fairhope comes out with a win.
Yeah, and I'm going to go with Fairhope as well. Foley, they're a decent squad. Their offense isn't too shabby, but they're not going to win on the road against Fairhope. Fairhope will be definitely a team to watch in the playoffs this year, and Fairhope gets the victory and moves to 6-0. And now we move to another Region 2 matchup. This time it's a little bit higher stakes than the Jeff Davis Lee game. It's Prattville, who is currently 3-2 on the season and 1-2 in regional play, and they're going away against Enterprise, who is currently 3-2 and 1-2 in regional play. Who do y'all got winning between Prattville and Enterprise?
This is a tough one. They have the same exact record, so I think I'm going to have to give it to Enterprise because maybe that home field advantage will just get them that little bit they need to win.
I'm going to go Prattville. Yeah.
I think it's a big game in Enterprise. Auburn actually went Enterprise and only won by 10, so I'm going to take Enterprise in this one.
Okay, well, kind of split board here. I'm going to go with Prattville because I feel like Prattville coming off that win 2 weeks ago against Opelika, that was a big win for them. I think it really showed their mettle. And I think they're going to beat Enterprise on the road. It's going to be very close game. It's definitely going to be a one-score victory, but Prattville will eke it out on the road. And now we move into a very big matchup in Region 3. It's Hewitt-Trussville, who's currently 4-2 on the season and 2-1 in Region 3 play. They're going away against Thompson, who's usually the best team in the state, still pretty good this season. They are 4-2 on the season and 3-0 in Region 3 play. Who do y'all got between Hewitt-Trussville and the Warriors?
Personally, I think Thompson's got this. They haven't been on their A game this season, but I think historical precedent, I think they'll be able to pull this one through.
I'm also going to go with the Warriors.
Yeah, Thompson has had some tough losses, but still 3-0 in region play. And all-time dominant team, I'm going to have to go Thompson.
Yeah, Thompson, even though they have 2 losses on the season, they're still a team to look out for. And I think they're going to win this one. I think they're actually going to make a statement. I got them winning this one by at least double digits. So Thompson's going to win that one. And then we move into another Region 2 matchup, probably the second biggest game in the state, which behind Opelika and Auburn, of course. Central, who is currently 4-2 and just came off of a loss, nationally televised loss against IMG Academy. They are currently 4-2 on the season and 3-1 in regional play. They go away against the surprise team in Region 2, Dothan, who is currently 5-1 and 3-1 in regional play, with their only loss coming against your Auburn Tigers. Now, who do y'all got between Central and Dothan?
It's got to be Dothan for this one. If the only team they've lost against is an undefeated team, I think that shows a lot, and I think they'll be able to get this one.
I'm also going to go with Dothan for that.
I think this will be a really close game in Dothan. Central barely losing against Opelika and that tough loss against IMG. I'm going to have to go Central. I think they bounce back this week.
Yeah, I think Central is much better than those 2 losses say they are. And I think Dothan, their only loss was, like you said, Cal, to Auburn, but they did lose 42-14. So it wasn't a close game. And I feel like this is probably one of the biggest, it's probably one of the biggest Dothan home games in their recent history, being 5-1, which is the second best record in the conference, by the way, the region. And I think Central is going to get the win, though, on the road. I feel like Central is, like I said, they're better than we've seen, their 2 losses. They lost to IMG and a close one against Opelika. I think Central pulls it out in this one and gets ready for Auburn coming into town 2 weeks from now. And now we move into your game of the night, which is Opelika, who is currently 4-2 and 3-1 in the region, and they are coming to face your Auburn Tigers, your number 1 team in 7A. I'll say it again, number 1 team in 7A and number 1 team in the state for the 3rd consecutive week, who are currently 6-0 and 4-0 in region play. Who do y'all got between Opelika Bulldogs and the Auburn Tigers?
All things considered, I got to say I think Auburn has this. I don't think it'll be as big of a win as Auburn's had in the past, but I also don't think it's going to be extremely close, but I definitely think Auburn's going to be able to get this easy.
Of course I'm going to go with Auburn. That's our team. We got this.
I really think this will be closer than a lot of people think. Just in-town matchup, really close together. Opelika will come out really strong, but I think Auburn will prevail and win this game.
And with all that being said, this is going to be a huge matchup. A lot of emotion riding on this game, a rivalry game, and also not only regional status on the line, but also this is the first year that Opelika is in 7A. So already being this good in 7A is already a testament to their entire staff, their entire team. It's going to be a packed house at the Duck, and I think Auburn's going to win. I think it's going to be very close, though. I feel like with all the emotion, you saw last year's game, they had to win by a field goal. They won by 2, actually, at the end of the game on the road against Opelika last year. I think it'll be a very close game, but I think Auburn, in the end, takes home the victory and takes home a big regional lead. And that'll do it today for AHS Countdown. We hope y'all enjoyed, but don't go anywhere because coming up in a few minutes will be the AHS Band's pregame show as well as kickoff not too long after that. But from me and the rest of the crew here at AHS Countdown, we hope y'all enjoyed, and we hope to see you back here on AHS Mass Media next Wednesday when Auburn Volleyball takes on Prattville. But that'll do it, and we hope to see you here next time.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel, safely drive that automobile. Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel.
My name is Carly. I'm 15 years old and I am a heart recipient. I got my first heart transplant when I was 1.5 years old. I got my second heart when I was 13. When I step out on stage, I think I'm communicating with people. I would like to tell them that I want to make a change in life. Like, yeah, you can have 2 heart transplants, but it doesn't stop you from doing the things that you love. When I get my driver's license, of course I'm going to say yes to be an organ donor because I've been saved twice. So who says I can't save somebody else? It's just the beginning of a new story.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Here's to the straggly ones, the lopsided ones, the first ones, the I miss my beard ones. But hey, I look good with this ones. But no way he's grown that in a week ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The, that one. The itchy ones. The never forgotten ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The started late ones. The absolutely filthy ones. The drawn-on ones, the finger ones, the pin ones. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones. And the yeah, why not ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
Using meth taught me everything about freedom, only not like you think. It taught me how easy it is to lose your freedom. How meth can take control until you find yourself doing whatever meth tells you to do. Before you get there, while you still can, take a stand for yourself. If you feel yourself losing your freedom to meth, ask for help. Accept the help. It's worth it. You have the power to be truly free and be the person you want to be. I know, I'm Jan, and I'm free from meth.
If you or someone you know is struggling with meth, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential treatment referral. Learn more at samhsa.gov/meth.
Thoughts of suicide may feel impossible to overcome, but with help and support, you can find hope and meaning. Call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK to speak to a counselor, or visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org. It's free, it's confidential, it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And even if it feels like it, you're not alone.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. For many people, HPV hides inside them and they never develop symptoms. But for others, HPV links directly to cancer. My cancer almost ended my career. It almost ended me. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. The HPV vaccine is recommended for 11 to 12-year-olds, and a catch-up vaccine may be an option for teens and young adults. Talk to your doctors. You don't want HPV hiding inside your body like HPV has been hiding inside this commercial. Did you see all of them? Go to thinkaboutthelink.org to look again and learn more. Together, we can stop cancer before it starts.
When stress shows up, it can be hard to see. Maybe you can't sleep, or you feel sad and you don't know why. Or maybe it's worse, because stress can knock you down. It can hurt your health and your relationships. If you've lost a job, worry about your next meal, or have trouble making it through the day, we can help. Text STRESS to 211-211 to find a solution.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
So, I keep hearing how things are getting back to normal. Really? When am I back to normal? What is normal anyway? I can't even remember. Is this normal? Seriously? No. Was this ever normal? Please. I think this used to be normal. Then I figured out. Just stop it. So much has changed. No wonder nothing feels normal. But here I am, still standing. A brand new edition of me. This is no time to go back to anything. It's time to go forward and discover the new person I am now. I'm all in. For some great tips on finding your new normal, visit yourlifeyourvoice.org. You look familiar.
Some kids never smile. They're embarrassed by their crooked teeth. They want braces like the other kids, but their families can't afford them. Some may even try to straighten their teeth themselves. That can make everything worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. It helps provide orthodontic treatment to kids and teens whose families can't afford it. For kids who apply, are approved, and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, it can be life-changing. Their treatment is in the hands of an expert, a licensed local orthodontic specialist who improves their smiles by correctly aligning teeth and jaws. Some kids think they'll never smile again, but Donated Orthodontic Services may help them smile with confidence. To link to the application and eligibility requirements, visit aaoinfo.org.
Adventurer, coach, chef, teacher, audience, superhero. If you're a parent, you've done it all this past year. But the one thing you may not have done is take care of yourself. And it's nearly impossible to keep everyone else full of joy if you're feeling empty. At Boys Town, we know that a parent's mental health is important too. So when it's all too much, take a break and regroup. It's a great strategy that puts things in perspective so you can deal with challenges. The review and recalibrate method of self-care helps you see what's working and what's not. Go to boystown.org/stressedout for more great self-care tips for parents. You can even download an ebook to guide you and your family through self-care strategies. Because healthy parents are key to happy families. Boys Town, saving children and healing families.
Extinction is forever. To save America's most iconic and imperiled species from extinction, we must fight for their future. Fight to save the natural lands that wildlife call home. Fight to limit pollution. Fight for smart development. Fight for their future. And fight for ours. For so goes nature, so goes us.
So, I keep hearing how things are getting back to normal. Really? When am I back to normal? What is normal anyway? I can't even remember. Is this normal? Seriously? No. Was this ever normal? Please. I think this used to be normal. Then I figured out. Just stop it. So much has changed. No wonder nothing feels normal. But here I am, still standing. A brand new edition of me. This is no time to go back to anything. It's time to go forward and discover the new person I am now. I'm all in. For some great tips on finding your new normal, visit yourlifeyourvoice.org. You look familiar.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Dr. Kristen Perry, Superintendent of Auburn City Schools, and Dr. Shannon Pignato, Principal at Auburn High School, we welcome you again to the Sanford Stadium, home of your Auburn Tigers. stand and join us as the band performs the Auburn High School alma mater, conducted by AHS Director of Bands, Ms. Deanna Marshall. Please remain standing as we honor our nation with the playing of our national anthem.
Will be the other. Deuce White and Jordan Reese will man the inside. Clark Cleveland, Octavian Brown will be your outside linebackers. Coleman Granberry will be in the middle. Pete Davis and Andre Emilius will be the corners. Graham Young is one safety, and Andrew King or DJ Witcher, game time decision, will be the other starter at the other safety position. Those are tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Auburn Bank, champions of you. We got about 3 minutes left on the clock. We'll go ahead and send it to break here on the Russell Building Supply Countdown to kickoff. When we come back, we'll have opening kickoff and final thoughts here as Auburn and Opelika once again about to square off. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Experience and knowledge from the pros. Russell Do It Center and Building Supply.
Russell Building Supply is Auburn's hometown home center. With top brands and an easy-to-use drive-through lumberyard, we have what you need to get the job done. Russell Building Supply, East University Drive in Auburn.
Become a Russell Rewards member.
Experience and knowledge from the pros. Russell Do It Center and Building Supply.
Hey, it's Steve from the Car Stereo Shop in Auburn. We live in a world that is constantly changing, and the Car Stereo Shop is changing with it. The internet has created options for shopping and a misconception that your best deals are online. Not always is the cheapest price your best deal. Here's what you can expect at the Car Stereo Shop. Competitive pricing, quality products, a sales staff with outstanding product knowledge, the best warranties, and the best customer service. Come to 1314 Opelika Road or visit us on Facebook or Instagram.
Glenn Smith in Opelika is happy to be a sponsor of high school football. We believe that high school athletics builds character among young people, and we are honored to lend our support. This is a great area to live, play, work, worship, and retire. In our 30th year, Chevrolet Buick and GMC dealers North Alabama and West Georgia. Online 24/7 at glennsmith.com. Glenn Smith, Chevrolet Buick GMC. Get ready to smile.
Wings 94.3 is an Auburn network station of the Radio Alabama family. WGZZ and WGZZ HD, Waverly, Auburn-Opelika. From Wings 94.3 Sports, Auburn High School football is on.
Ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. Gonna find you and take it slowly.
Touchdown, Tiger.
Ready or not.
He will approach. As toe meets leather, ball is sent into the end zone, 5 yards deep into the end zone, and that's where will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, Towns Magoo gives you a little sense of how jacked up these players are. He kicks that thing deep into the end zone, and I mean, he's capable. He's done that often throughout these first couple of games, but he left no doubt to open this Auburn-Opelika clash.
So here we go, and it is DJ Witcher into the game. He will be the starting safety alongside Graham Young, as a long huddle by Opelika over on the far side, as now they are giving the ready to go. White Hat still has yet to signal for the play clock to go, and here it is. Gagliano in a gun. As Makai Simpson, a sophomore, will be next to him. High snap, play action, slant inside to Pete Davis on the coverage. Passing complete, finding his receiver, that's Cooper, his main option. Gain of about 7 on the play, 2nd down.
Yeah, they went trips to wide side, and they had one-on-one coverage. Pete Davis had nice coverage right there. Just a better throw and a contested catch right there for their 1st down play.
Simpson in the backfield, a sophomore running back. Cooper been the go-to guy. He'll also play some running back. Gagliano now hands off on the outside zone, trying to get to the seam is Simpson. He's going to get 1st down yardage across the 35 to about the 36, gain of about 8 on the play, 1st and 10.
They had a big hole around the right side, but the Auburn coaching staff's frustrated because the wide receiver over here comes out of his stance a little early, and Auburn got a kid struggling to get off the field.
That's Graham Young. As he tried to come off a couple of times, and now Andrew King rotates into the game. It's King and Witcher.
Wow. Yeah, scary situation there for Graham Young, trying to get off the field twice.
Especially after what's gone on in the NFL last week and then last night. Auburn High will make sure that he's okay before even thinking about letting him go back into the game.
Yeah,
my assumption here is you're going to see a deep ball. Safety comes out of the game. Again, a trips bunch set for Gagliano in the gun. Claps a hand. Play action, looking down the field. Auburn High has pressure. He avoids it, throws it downfield, still looking for his receiver. He's open, and he has him. Is at the 15, at the 10. Makes King miss at the 5, into the end zone, or is he short? They are going to stay down at the 1-yard line as Auburn High School had double coverage. It was a one-man route, but all the way down to the 1-yard line on a big play.
Yep, and I tell you, they're going to find something right there with Graham Young going out because King's not healthy. You could tell as he tried to cover that deep route that he's gimpy, he's limping, he could not get to the he could not get, and is there a flag?
Unsportsmanlike is a penalty. It's a first down. I did not see who it was on. I just saw the unsportsmanlike, or maybe it was but the flag got thrown back at the 50, and it's first down yardage. Gain of 63 on the play.
Yeah, either way, I mean, the receiver runs a slant and go, and the quarterback's able to elude pressure and has all the time to get that ball down the field because the safety is not 100%, and the receiver is able to get behind him.
Auburn also had pressure, and Gagliano gets away from it and makes the play.
I think Auburn's going to get a penalty for too many men on the field here.
Motion, and there is stoppage on the play, illegal substitution on Auburn. If you're what's frustrating for that, if you're Auburn, you had a bunch of time to make sure and count it and get it right. But also, it's going to be half the distance, and from the one, it really doesn't make that big of a difference.
Not a penalty that hurts you. Auburn really needs Opelika to bobble the ball here, have some kind of hesitation in the backfield, see if you can get a tackle for a loss, put a little bit of game pressure on him on this first drive.
Yeah, I thought if Auburn would be able to come out and have a quick start, I thought a quick start was massive for Opelika coming off of 2 straight losses. Gagliano goes underneath the gun, and it's a quarterback sneak. Not a lot of push there, but it looks like second effort is going to get it in from 1 yard out. Opelika strike first, 6-0. Bulldogs lead here with 10:02 left to go.
Yeah, huge drive. Again, Coach Etheridge really frustrated because
the running back moved.
The running back's moving forward. He can't really hear the snap, and they should have illegal procedure on that play. And again, he's frustrated. He's actually going to burn a timeout to talk to the officials for this. He wants the white hat to come over and explain because he is hot. That's 2 plays that Opelika has been moving prior to the snap that have gone uncalled that result in big plays. A long 63-yard bomb and then a touchdown, and he wants an explanation.
The one running back is inexcusable. He's going forward. I did not see the receiver one, but if there's a receiver moving, there's an official right there.
He was, yeah. It was definitely movement, but it was away from the play, and I think he just thought I'll let it ride, and it ended up being a huge play for Opelika.
Can't let it ride in this game. Auburn. So Opelika strikes first. Last week, Opelika scores 21 points in the first quarter. They score 3 points the rest of the game. Fast starts have been Opelika's MO this year, and they get another one here. 80 yards go the Bulldogs on their first drive. PAT is up, and that PAT is good. 10:02 left to go here in the first. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Excitement is in the air at Kia of Auburn. Mascots marching.
Some kids never smile. They're embarrassed by their crooked teeth. They want braces like the other kids, but their families can't afford them. Some may even try to straighten their teeth themselves. That can make everything worse. Luckily, there's Donated Orthodontic Services, a program from the American Association of Orthodontists. It helps provide orthodontic treatment to kids and teens whose families can't afford it. For kids who apply, are approved, and are matched with a volunteer orthodontist, it can be life-changing. Their treatment is in the hands of an expert. a licensed local orthodontic specialist who improves their smiles by correctly aligning teeth.
Hit it and hit a line drive. That one is a line drive, which will be taken right at the 1-yard line, and it is a return. Going to the Opelika sideline is Blomeyer. Blomeyer is going to get hit and run out of bounds shy of the 20-yard line. Before we get the first play from Auburn, let's get the scoring recap by Jack. Jack, what you got?
Yeah, Scott, so Opelika goes right down the field. 4 plays. The big one, a 64-yard pass from Roman Gagliano to Amari Miller all the way down to 1 before Auburn can bring him down. Back to you, Scott.
Thanks, Jack. 9:56 here. Auburn High School will take over. Clyde Pittman, your quarterback. Twin receivers to the left side, a tight end and a receiver to the left side, or to the left, twin receivers to the right. The boundary is the left side. Pittman has it. He's going to hand off to DV. Auburn runs power and nothing there. It's going to be a loss of about 3 on the play. Auburn goes to the left behind the into the boundary. Lose 3 on the play.
Yeah, that's Auburn's bread and butter right there. I mean, exactly what you said. Short side of the field to their big offensive linemen on that side of the ball. And, Opelika, they watch film too, and they know exactly what Auburn wants to do, and they're going to force Auburn to spread them out, make them move around, and defend the entire field.
2nd down and 13 coming up. Tigers go to the right side, which is a bunch formation, and it looks like a press look here from Opelika with a 4-2 box. Pittman in the gun, claps his hands, drop backs, has pressure looking over the top for Nation. Got him opened right at about the midfield logo. He's going to be tackled at the 47-yard line of Auburn High School. It's going to be a gain of 31 on the play.
Well, 2 things I saw there. They had a hole player right there, a deep safety that Clyde Pittman does a great job of just elevating that ball over that defender. The other thing is those Opelika defensive backs very, very physical with the Auburn receivers off the line of scrimmage. So they were physical up front, so Ian Nation does a great job of just getting separation.
Last year, Opelika basically went man across the board and said, be better. And Auburn's going to have to win some one-on-one battles in the backfield. And it's kind of a split flow action there. That's a play that Auburn High School put in this week where the tight end goes across and then stops and then goes back around. So if you're reading that crossing up back, it's a false key. But the penetration from the D-line wins that one. Loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
Yeah, Opelika crowding that box, putting a lot of people in there, and really, really honing in on that first down run. Auburn been unsuccessful in their first 2 attempts.
Auburn will go gun here once again, 2-by-2 set. Cody Palmer into the game for the Tigers on 2nd and 11. Opelika shows blitz. Here comes motion, and Pittman keeps backside pressure, is going to get to him. It's going to be a gain of about 2. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 9, and Opelika will bring in their pass rush set.
Yeah, Opelika did a good job right there of being able to defend that because they defended that jet sweep action with the defensive end. They didn't require a perimeter player to come up and take him out of a pass coverage if you're doing an RPO in that situation. And Clyde Pittman's forced to pull it, and the linebacker is able to make the play.
7:40 left to go here in the first quarter. Tigers down 7-0. Auburn High echoing account, make sure that they're all on the same page in pass protection situation. Blitz look coming for the Bulldogs. Dropping back is Pittman. Pittman wants the curl. Pittman finds his receiver in Marcellus Josephson. 3rd and 9, give him 10. First down. Opelika might have got away with some movement. Auburn might have got away with some movement on the offensive line.
Yeah, the Opelika defense was definitely looking at that left side of the offensive line and thought they moved early. Again, the flag stays in the pocket, but a perfect throw right there by Pittman to the near sideline. Josephson was not even out of his step, had not even looked for the ball when it arrived.
Bunch set here for the Tigers. McLean comes in motion, handoff to DV. DV has a little bit better pressure, or push rather that time. Gain of 1, maybe 2, should be 2 to the 40. They're going to mark him at the 41. Gain of 1, 2nd down and 9. And I don't think we're too far along from Auburn having a play action or something like that coming on 1st down.
Yeah, Opelika selling out to stop that run. And, we like to run to the boundary. Opelika's athleticism is limiting the space that Auburn can operate in by doing that. Auburn's going to have to kind of reevaluate how they want to attack this Opelika defense with the run game.
6.5 left to go here. 2nd and 9 for the Tigers. Pittman will call motion from Nation. Will clap his hands and will drop back. Free runner over the middle has Nation, but unfortunately it looked like it was kind of a drop zone there because number 46, the defensive tackle, Mikael Hurd, drops back and gets the dragger there, and if he doesn't make the play, it's big yardage. Gain of 1 on play, 3rd and 8.
Yeah, just good recognition by what Auburn likes to do. I like having a hard time getting lined up now.
Bunch set for the Tigers, and now they'll make the adjustment and call as Opelika is echoing their defensive signals. 14 seconds left to go on the play clock. Ian Nation will be your receiver on in a 3-receiver side off to the left. Pittman has it, drops back, steps up out of pressure, resets the feet, has a wide open receiver. Ian Nation, give him 6 from 40 yards out. We're an extra point away from being tied.
Yeah, good play right there by Clyde Pittman because he, first read not there. He wants to roll out to his right. The pocket collapses, and he steps away for pressure. I think that was D.V. Williams that stepped up and got the big block for him. And instead of running, there was going to be a defender there that held him short of the first down. He keeps his eyes open, and Ian Nation's running wide open down the middle of the field, and he puts it right on the money for the touchdown.
Ian Nation with once again another big touchdown catch. Your kicker in for this one is Will Best. Kick is on his way. The kick is up, and that kick is no good. For the first time this year, Auburn High School misses an extra point. 5:38 left to go here in the first quarter. Auburn trails 7-6. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
When stress shows up, it can be hard to see. Maybe you can't sleep, or you feel sad and you don't know why. Or maybe it's worse, because stress can knock you down. It can hurt your health and your relationships. If you've lost a job, worry about your next meal, or have trouble making it through the day, we can help. Text STRESS to 211-211 to find a solution.
Here, 7-6 Tigers lead, or Tigers trail rather. Auburn had been 28 of 28 on PATs, as Auburn misses their first one of the year. Magoo will approach, and he'll kick it, and it will be taken right at the goal line, yard deep, and that is going to be called a touchback, and Opelika once again will take over at the 20-yard line. Jack, what was that score and recap?
Yeah, Scott, 8 plays, 81 yards the Tigers go. Clyde Pittman hooking up with Ian Nation for a 40-yard bomb. Tigers convert 3 third downs on that drive. Back to you, Scott.
And that's a big number. Auburn High School early part of the year have not been completing that number at a high percentage. Last week, 6 of 12 and 38% on the year.
Yeah, this Auburn defense now really has some challenges in the secondary. They've got 2 safeties that don't typically play there, a corner that has rotated in that's a second-string guy, and they're going to be challenged here. This front seven's got to pick up the pace.
Emilius will move to safety, and Jaden Walker goes to corner. Auburn shows pressure. The running back moving, and there you go. It's a sophomore running back who was creeping forward on the snap, and it'll be a 5-yard penalty and 1st and 15. And Opelika coaches aren't happy, but here's the thing. If you're creeping forward on what is simulating a snap count, that is a false start. Yeah. Just like if the quarterback takes a step forward, it is a false start.
And that was produced by those linebackers stepping into both A-gaps right there. They show blitz, and the quarterback wants to get to the running back and make sure he's going to be protected.
Gagliano in the gun, 2-by-2 set for the Bulldogs, and he wants a quick pass. Auburn High School has a guy out there. Coleman Granberry was scraping over the top, and actually, no, that was Clark Cleveland who was scraping over, and I think got in the way of the receiver. Incomplete, 2nd and 15.
Yeah, it looked like Opelika was expecting man. Auburn hops into a quick zone, and the cornerback over the number 1, Jay Walker, he comes up on that when his outside zone is threatened and almost makes a play on the ball right there.
Trips into the boundary, a solo receiver. This is where Opelika has liked to go some this year. Little zip motion for Opelika, inside zone. Look now into the flats. Great play call. Going to be first down yardage. Coming over is the Auburn safety, and I believe that one is DJ Witcher who does. It's going to be, I take that back, it was 2nd and 15. Gain of 14, 3rd and 1.
Yeah, good job by Witcher to rally to the football and make a 3rd down opportunity right here, because that was nothing but green space. He had 10, 15 yards of green space to operate in, and Witcher puts them in a 3rd down attempt where they have to convert.
Nice play call there by Opelika. 2-by-2 set here on 3rd and 1. Auburn two DBs out against both receivers set and show some pressure. Gagliano has it. Gagliano's going to keep it, and not a whole lot of push, but across the 30, it's going to be a gain of 2 on 3rd and 1, 1st and 10.
Yeah, just keep the ball in the hands of the quarterback, and you know, you can tell they have a lot of trust in him. Letting him throw the football. He ran the quarterback sneak on the goal line, big 3rd down conversion. They keep it in his hands. So this Opelika staff has a lot of trust in the junior quarterback.
They have not run the ball as effective as Opelika normally does. It looks like this is going to be the Gagliano show here tonight. Trips to the near side, which is the short side. The back will move to the right of Gagliano. Will clap his hands, speed options to the outside. Clark Cleveland forces it and then gets inside help from a couple of players coming in and flowing. It looks like that's Rico Spinks in there. Gain of about 2 on the play.
Yeah, now that's trying to attack the teeth of the Auburn defense when you start going after Clark Cleveland and Octavian Brown and Coleman Granberry and that linebacking core. You get a chance right there where that quarterback takes it off tackle. You got to make him pay for it. I mean, if he wants to run the ball, then he needs to feel it tomorrow morning.
Yep. They'll give him 2nd down and 7, 3:50 left to go here in the opening quarter. Bunch set to the right. Gagliano claps the hands, and he's going to hand off on an outside zone. Hello, Coleman Granberry. He makes his presence known for the first time here tonight. No gain, 3rd down and 7.
He does. He does a great job. That was great gap responsibility right there. Clark Cleveland comes up and takes on the lead back.
And he's going to hand off
blocker
on an outside zone.
Allows Coleman Granberry to run totally unchecked, unmolested, straight to the football.
To the right.
That was a vicious hit that he just put on the running back. He hit him and the running back's legs buckled. So a great job right there by Coleman Granberry.
Loss of 1 on the play, 3rd down and 8. Auburn sends in their pass rush, and that is Caleb Pitts. And Auburn identifies an extra blocker in a tight end spot. Gagliano claps a hand, drops back, looks down the field, wants his slant. It's a nice route there by number 3, Jamari Miller, a sophomore. It was kind of almost like a dig settle there, and he needed about 12, or needed 8, got about 10, and good coverage, 1st down though.
Good coverage, but a good play design for them to go after Auburn's second corner that has come in. So Auburn having to make ends meet because they take their starting corner and put him back at safety, and so you're going against your number 2 right there, and also they're moving the pocket just enough to allow Gagliano to have time. You know, had a lot of time right there to convert a 3rd down.
Gain of about 9 on that 3rd down play. 1st down yardage for Opelika. Gagliano will have it, and he'll look to keep it, break 1 tackle, look to go back, and he'll get hit hard on that one. It's going to be a loss of about 2 on that play. And that's going to be a situation where if you're Opelika, you're going to have to rely on your quarterback to beat Auburn, especially throwing. When you start doing some of this run game, he's got to be smart and not take necessary hits.
That's right. That time Clark Cleveland comes off the right side and forces him to delay his rollout. He tries to cut it back up the middle and just into a swarm of Auburn defenders, but he did. He took a big hit, lost 2 yards on that 1st down play.
Sure, if that was an RPO, it's just a straight read there. Either way, Auburn got a free runner in there. Gagliano claps the hands now twice, and will hand up right up the middle, nothing doing. That's where Auburn's got to be good. If Opelika is just going to line up and run the ball right at Auburn, Auburn's got to stop it. And here on 3rd down and about 14, they got to get off the field.
No doubt about it. Make them one-dimensional. Make it so that it's obvious what they want to do right here. And now defensively, you got to cover. You're the front 7. You got to get pressure on this guy. He's already shown us that he can make some tough throws. So make him do it under duress.
Might have to do it with the front 4.
May have to. You're right. When you've got some young guys back here that maybe didn't expect to be in this moment right now, then this pass rush has to be elite.
3-by-1 set here for the Dogs. Tigers showing a 5-man pressure. Gagliano drops back, looking over the middle of the field. Almost picked. It is ruled incomplete on the near side. Pete Davis drove on the play, looking for number 23, Hayden Cooper on it, and Davis read it, drove on an incomplete punting time.
Yeah, I like the Auburn defense. You know, they're throwing a little bit of everything at him. Sometimes they're coming with man-to-man, a lot of pressure. Sometimes they're rushing 5. Sometimes they're jumping into zone. And that time Pete Davis does a great job of reading the quarterback and driving on that ball, almost making an outstanding interception. It was going to be short either way by about 4 yards.
And this is where Auburn has to be alert because Gagliano is the punter. He rolls out He kicks it across his body. Ian Nation was going to run to it, and he'll take it. It's probably going to save about 7 or 8 yards on that one, as it's going to be no return. But at the end of the day, that's a positive for Auburn, as it doesn't roll deeper down into Auburn territory. Auburn takes over once again at their own 19-yard line.
Yeah, the traditionalists are going to say get away from the football when it hits, but if Ian Nation, he had a clean bounce to deal with, and he did a great job, because that ball probably rolls another 10 yards inside the Auburn 10.
Davis Harson is your quarterback now for the Tigers. 2-by-1 set here for Auburn High School. Here comes motion, and it's a pop pass, and Auburn High misses a block on the defensive end, and that blows that play up. It's going to be a gain of about 1 on the play.
Yeah, again, Auburn on the near boundary, the near hash, and they try to run a speed sweep into the boundary, and Opelika is just ready for it. I mean, they've got unblocked people on the perimeter that are coming up, and either Auburn's missing block or Opelika is just well schooled in what Auburn's tendencies are, and the first down play goes for not much.
That one looked like Auburn might have had a guy for that defensive end, but Griffin McLean not able to hold on to his block. Auburn in a wildcat look, and it's D.V. Williams right up the middle, across to the 25-yard line, gain of 5 on 2nd and 9. That's one way to do it, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 5, and my guess is Auburn is going to be content with going to the quarter with, well, they're not going to get a playoff with 2 seconds, 1 second left to go. 7-6 is our score. The difference in the game, a missed PAT, and Opelika has the lead. We'll go to the second quarter with that score. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Using meth taught me everything about freedom, only not like you think. It taught me how easy it is to lose your freedom, how meth can take control until you find yourself doing whatever meth tells you to do. Before you get there, while you still can, take a stand for yourself. If you feel yourself losing your freedom to meth, ask for help. Accept the help. It's worth it. You have the power to be truly free and be the person you want to be. I know, I'm Jan, and I'm free from meth.
If you or someone you know is struggling with meth, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential treatment referral. Learn more at samhsa.gov/meth.
Set.
I mean, Opelika essentially has 11 guys within 6 yards of the football.
Jack Hudson and Ian Nation are your receivers to the left side. McLean comes in motion as the tight end, and it's a handoff. No, with a bubble look to Ian Nation. First down yardage across the 30, cuts back, gets more yardage across the 35-yard line. Nice play, gain of 10. First time we've seen that bubble look here out of the 2 tight end set.
Yep, first time we've seen that, and then also a quick pass that it was predetermined, so we knew exactly where we were going on the snap, and Auburn attacked the wide side of the field right there. Had a little bit to work with, and Nation just outruns the defenders for the first down.
Wildcat set here. Once again, DV in the gun. Auburn High will keep it with DV up the middle, patient. Now looking to go back outside. Davis Harson getting himself a halfway decent block. Gain of about 12 or 11 on the play for DV. Eric Patrick helmet will come off, so he'll have to sit for a play. Will Ward will check in.
Yeah, extremely patient right there for a DV Williams, just kind of tiptoeing around to see which hole he needed to go to. Opelika really condensed the defense down in the middle. He finds a hole out to the outside, and you're right. Davis Harson was split out right wide to the Opelika sideline, and had he not been out there and made a key block on the corner, that play probably doesn't get first down.
And here is the same look once again. Wildcat. DV can throw it, but now Auburn will shift into a more traditional set. Now Auburn High will hand off to DV, and it should be an offsides.
We weren't really set for a full second either, so I'll be interested to see what they say.
If they call a false start.
Yeah, so we had some guys that shifted out, 2 guys that were off the ball. And
now the issue, what the white hat is going to say is, look, That's not a false start. That's not a dead ball penalty. If they're not set and they snap it, it's a live ball penalty. And so we'll have all setting because an Opelika defender was in the neutral zone.
Gotcha.
So the issue there is, well, what coach is going to tell him is, look, he lines up in the neutral zone. It's a dead ball from the jump. Yep. There can be no, we didn't get set. It's a dead ball penalty from the jump. And now, so the other issue is because a play did not happen, Eric Patrick cannot come in. Will Ward will have to stay in at right guard. Actually, no, play center, and then moving over will be Jalen Foster. He'll go to right guard. And Auburn will go empty set with Davis Harson. Claps a hand, drops back. Here comes pressure. And now Harson steps up, avoids, throws it down the field, has a receiver open. Jack catches it. He's across the 30 to about the 27-yard line. Great patience there by the junior quarterback, first down yardage.
Yeah, it sure was. That was Harson in 5 wide. His initial read just wasn't there. And as he scrambles around, and just as he approaches the line of scrimmage, Jack Hudson wide open down there on the Opelika sideline. He goes up high and climbs the ladder to bring it down, and a big conversion right there for Davis Harson.
Gain of 25 on the play. Auburn, the quarterbacks have had some time. They've made small movement in the pockets, and Auburn's been able to find some people open.
Yep.
McLean in motion, and it's a handoff to DV. But unfortunately, Auburn doesn't get the point of attack block great, and it's going to be a gain of 1, maybe 0 on the play. Second down and long coming.
Yeah, clogged up that middle very effectively, and it's not typical for one guy to be able to get DV and to take away his momentum, and that's the case there. Opelika had multiple guys in the line of where that play wanted to go, and just not a lot working for Auburn there.
Some type of issue here as the Opelika coaching staff very upset about something, and there's going to be a conversation coming from the line judge. As
something about Harson.
Oh, so his band is on his belt. And so Speakman was pointing at him over and over and over again, and then Harson, as he looks over, takes the wristband off and puts it on his wrist to keep it, or because for some reason they let play clock run. We'll now have a timeout. 10:30 left to go in the second quarter, 7-6. Auburn trails Opelika. We'll be back in 30 seconds. No, we're going to keep it here. Is that still going to count as a timeout, though?
I think that's what they're discussing right now, Coach.
Coach Etheridge is very upset. So he's going out all the way across, and he wants to have a word with somebody.
He's on the hash.
He's past the hash. He's almost on the far hash to the middle of the field. He's not happy. This is ridiculous. 2nd and 10 is the call. I don't know if that costs Auburn High a timeout. We will find out later.
Yeah.
3-by-1 set here. Here comes motion. Harson hands it off to DV. No, he keeps it to Ian Nation. Ian Nation getting a good block, cuts back, sets up another block, and he's going to have first down yardage to the 15. Gain of 13 on the play. Nice ball handling there by Davis Harson, and that play moves Auburn High School into the Byron Smokehouse Breakfast Red Zone. Byron Smokehouse, an Auburn tradition for 30 years.
And that's a little wrinkle that Auburn hasn't shown yet this year. I mean, we're just so used to D.V. Williams taking that ball into the boundary, and that time Harson's able to pull it and hit a little bubble route out here to the field, and Ian Nation picks up the first.
Work on that a lot in the spring. Haven't seen it, but now we see it unveiled here in a big game. DV has it, got a huge hole into the open field, into the end zone. There's a late flag, though, as Ian Nation's going to get called for a hold as he was 20 yards from the play.
Yeah, if there's a hold on Ian Nation right here, that's a shame because that had no bearing on that play. D.V. Williams cuts up over the middle, right over center. No, that's on Opelika.
So it is a touchdown. Ian Nation won his block so much that the Opelika guy tried to get away from him and held him. 9:49 left to go, 15-yard touchdown run for Mr. Williams.
Hey, kudos to that Auburn offensive line because that was an untouched touchdown right over the zero hole. Yeah. I mean, he just ran right over center right there, and great job of getting into that end zone, getting the first lead of the game for Auburn.
Towns Magoo in to kick. Kick is on his way, kick is up, and that kick is Good. 9:49 left to go here. Tigers lead by 6. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to the Auburn High School football, you're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Franklin Tire and Auto is your one-stop automotive. And for precision collision repair, Franklin's state-of-the-art body shop can fully restore any make or model with free estimates, insurance claims welcome, and 24-hour towing, all at one stop since 1970. Franklin Tire and Auto, East University Drive, across from CC's Pizza, and at FranklinAutoInc.com. AHS football on Wings 94.3, part of the Auburn Network family of stations.
9:49 left to go here. Auburn High School leads 13-7 as Auburn's had two really, really good drives, both of them 81 yards.
Yeah, huge drive right there to take the lead in this ball game. Doing a lot of it on the ground, and also Davis Harson making some really nice plays with his legs and arm.
And that one is sent to about the 1-yard line, and it will be returned by Opelika. Auburn High has a lot of guys there. And Auburn High does a great job there. Will Best kicking off there. A host of Tigers are going to keep the return short of the 20 at about the 17-yard line.
Yeah, good job by that Auburn kickoff team, not taking the, a holiday on having to go down and cover a kick. Used to these Auburn kickers putting it into the end zone. That time it gets to the 1-yard line, and they're going to hold them short of the 20.
There is a flag on play. As we wait for that, Jack, what was that scoring drive?
Yeah, Scott, so 8 plays, 78 yards. The Tigers go in the big one on the drive, the 25-yard pass completion to the best name on Auburn High School's football roster, Jack Hudson.
And that penalty is a 15-yard face mask on Auburn High School. A lot of flags on both teams. I'm not saying it's one-sided. I'm just saying a lot of flags.
Yeah, there have been a lot of flags, and there's been some that haven't been called that have resulted in some big plays.
Coach Etheridge not happy with the call, and good field or not great field position for Opelika turns into pretty darn good field position here in this type of game, as it'll be at the 33-yard line. Tigers now have a lead. Gagliano in the gun for the Bulldogs. And at one point in time, do the Bulldogs get rid of the run game and just start throwing it? Claps his hands and pulling two guys in Auburn High School right on top of the running back.
Yeah.
That's a play that has been in Opelika's playbook for years. Pulling two guys with a kick and a pull and a wraparound, no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10.
Auburn does a good job on the edge there, Mark Tolan, because he had the outside containment responsibility. He took on one of those blockers pulled around that you described, but then he also was able to fall back in and be the first person to get a hit on the ball carrier. So that's a grown man play over here on the left defensive end for Auburn.
Calvin Hughley into the game. He's a sophomore running back. He's been hurt. He's going to be a very, very good running back for the Bulldogs in the years to come. Gagliano in the gun, claps a hand, and he's going to hand off to Hughley. Hughley trying to get outside, puts his foot in the ground, makes one guy miss, make a second guy miss, gets close to the 40-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 7. 2nd and 10 brings up a 3rd down and short.
Yeah, I remember that young man playing 7th and 8th grade football for Opelika, and, man, he was unstoppable. He's going to have a bright future. And his first attempt right here, he ran through a couple of tackles, so he looks the part.
He in 8th grade when Auburn played Opelika, he won the game for Opelika on 3 touchdowns. In the gun is Gagliano on 3rd down and 3. Claps the hands, now twice, pulling, play action, wants to slant, has his receiver, and it's a switching route, breaking a tackle is Cooper. 1st down yardage across the 45-yard line, close to the 41. That's where their market gain of 19.
Opelika does a good job with design by really getting wide splits, which creates a lot of room to run some intermediate, some slants. And that time the Auburn safety just slipped on his break. So they run a slant with the outside receiver, and as Witcher comes down to try to defend that, he slips, and that allows them to have the room necessary to get the 1st down.
Instead of switching out because the slot kind of ran them off, and they ran underneath at a nice concept. These splits very much like Tennessee runs or the old-school Baylor offense under Art Briles. Auburn showing pressure as Gagliano wants it. He's going to throw it up in the middle of the field. Almost picked. Pete Davis, stride for stride, and Opelika wants a pass interference, but the only one who had a chance to make a play on that ball was Pete Davis.
Yeah, there's no way that was pass interference because Pete Davis has both hands on the ball, so there's no way he could be interfering right there. Auburn has a good job right there to get pressure because Gagliano really just kind of threw that one up for grabs, and he took a big hit as he delivered that ball. They go for the shot right there after the first down. I think that's something we'll continue to see. They'll put the pressure on this Auburn secondary to make plays.
The two big play. Well, you see a play action there, and then you had that was an RPO with two pullers on the 3rd down and 3. Key the backers up, throw something behind them.
Yeah.
8 seconds left to go on the play clock. Gagliano in the gun and clapping his hand, drop back, rolling now. Auburn getting pressure and hits his receiver in stride. And that once again is Jamari Miller. 1st down yardage to the 24-yard line. And Auburn is going to work this near official all night long because the slot official or the slot receiver who was in motion goes upfield before the snap.
Yeah, but either way, a nice play by the quarterback for Opelika, just keeping that play alive. Again, he gets flushed out of the pocket to his right, and he makes a nice throw on the run to keep the sticks moving.
It's a special play by Gagliano. Gain of 16 on the play. 1st and 10 for the Dogs. And to the screen on the far side, Auburn High has people there. The safety not able to break down and make the play. That was Witcher, gain of 4 on the play. Actually, call it a gain of 3. It'll be at the 21, 2nd down, and about 6.
Yeah, just a quick throw to the field, 2-on-2 out there, and they do a good job of limiting the damage with a missed tackle by those Auburn defenders running to the football.
And that's something that Opelika is going to force you to do. And if you're Witcher there, just break down. You're in great spot and make the play. 2nd and 7 for Gagliano. Claps a hand, drops back. Pump it, touchdown Opelika. Wide open. Witcher bites on it, so does the corner. From 21 yards out, they run the same variation of that play, and it's a touchdown for the Dogs, and we have tied it up.
Yep, they just went right back to it, and instead of the blocker sitting out there and blocking the corner, he runs right by the safety as the safety bites on the pump fake. And you're right, nobody in the end zone. He was just waiting for it to get to him, and they score the touchdown right before with little 7 minutes left in the second quarter.
6:53 left to go here in the second quarter. Dogs tie it. The extra point is on his way, is up, and that kick is good. 14-13 our score. Opelika leads. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Teamwork is key to... Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker, new from Be Normal. This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
Stones and the Tigers play here. Wings, 94-3.
Cessna will kick off for the Bulldogs. Cessina, rather. Blomeyer back deep, along with Flakes and Nation. And there is a lot of conversation going on about something. Official timeout. I'm not sure what. Oh, I know what the issue is. Your play clocks are on 2 different numbers. And so now the athletic director, again, Norton, will come out and have a conversation. They'll try to get working on it. I do believe we do have one functioning, which means that, like when Auburn is driving the way that they are now, the functioning scoreboard is, well, they'll turn it off, and they'll see if the oldest trick in the book works, which is turning it off and turning it back on. And while they're now at 0, let's hit a reset button, see if we can get it to 25. There's 1, there's 2, there we go. It's still pretty much undefeated. Folks, if you have electronics and you turn it off and turn it back on and it's still not working, you're in trouble. 6:53 left to go here in the second quarter. Auburn High School down by 1 after a nice touchdown drive by the Bulldogs. Really, most of it in the air.
That's right.
High kick. Blomeyer will take it right at the 1-yard line and try to get to the edge and breaks one tackle. Now got to get vertical, and he will, and he's going to be tackled there as Cessnia has put the ball perfectly right at the edge of the goal line, and Auburn High School once again will take over inside the 20. Jack, what was the scoring drive?
Yeah, Scott, 7 plays, 70 yards. The Bulldogs go. The big one, of course, the Roman Gagliano touchdown to Bryce Speakman. for 24 yards out. Gagliano 9 for 12 for 167 yards and a touchdown, and we're not even at halftime yet, Scott.
Yep, and, you know, I thought that Opelika was going to have to throw it, and they have, and right now the Auburn secondary has to get on the same page. Clyde Pittman comes into the game at a quarterback, D.V. Williams next to him, as there's something that Opelika coaches are jumping up and down about. Back is Pittman wanting the fade out to Nation, a step overthrown, incomplete, second down 10.
Yeah, you're right. The Opelika coaching staff, they're all going crazy over on the sideline with something formationally that Auburn had aligned in. But either way, Auburn takes a shot down the near sideline to step beyond what Ian Nation could get to.
Yeah, it's a play where you take the fade or you got hitches on the other side, and you just take what you like and just step out. Ian Nation did have a step on the defender. Here comes Lohmeyer on the motion, and it's going to be a keep for Pittman, and one block away as that time the guard, actually no, that might have been the tackle, got beat. It's going to be a loss of 2 on the play, third down and long.
Yeah, that time Brent Joyner, he's not able to seal the block, and Clyde Pittman does a good job with action going in opposite directions in the backfield. He just tries to go over the left side, and there's nothing there.
Hard count, and Braden Joyner's holding his left arm and shoulder. Auburn High will reset the formation in a 2-by-2 set. And actually, they'll go straight to a 3-by-1 set, and Opelika counters in a kind of a too-high look, and they're showing blitz. Pittman in the gun, heels at the 10. Claps a hand, play action, drops back, makes one guy miss, steps out of pressure, now looking to get downfield, lowers his head, going to get to the 20-yard line, across the 20-yard line, gain of about 4 or 5 on the play. It's going to be punting time for the first time for Auburn High.
Well, Pittman does a good job of just getting what he could. I mean, he had lots of pressure from the get-go. They brought more than we could block. He's able to sidestep it and step back up in the pocket, but just couldn't get the eyes up in order to find somebody downfield, and then he decided he was just going to he puts it down and runs over the corner, but Opelika does a good job of getting off the field on 3 downs.
I see a couple of linemen kind of struggling to get off the field on that one, just kind of limping. Now this is where Auburn's got to be good. Tyler McKinnell is punting. He'll boom it away. Spiraling kick, and will be taken, and hello, right there on the catch is Davis Smith with right at the 40-yard line. Did Opelika have
They got 12 people on the field.
Well, this officiating crew missed it.
Yep, they got it. They had ran a guy on late, and I counted them, and they had 12.
That's something that normally this Auburn High staff will be all over the referees on. Don't see Coach Etheridge. But Opelika will take over with their best field position of the night at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, really good job by that punt coverage team. I mean, just as soon as the punt returner caught that ball, he was down instantly.
Same look that the touchdown was scored on. Auburn High School defense needs to stop here.
Yeah, big stop. They need to get off the field and get this Auburn offense back on it and steal a possession.
Tay Gay, the linebacker, late to rotate in. And here comes a little bit of zip motion, looking over the top and trying to find Pete Davis. The receiver makes the catch at the 20-yard line. Back at the 19-yard line is where they're going to mark it, as making the catch is number 23, Caden Cooper. Big yardage. 41 yards on the play.
Yeah, just a beautiful throw. I mean, he just threw that thing up as high as he could and allowed his receiver the opportunity to run under it, and he just ran by our corner. I mean, as simple as it was, there was no play design other than just, hey, you're faster than that guy, go get it. That's what they did.
Gagliano in the gun will hand it off. There's some opening on the left side. Running hard in the back across the 7-yard line, as that was number 20 there on the carry, Ja'Cory Thornton. Gain of 12 on the play, first and goal from 7.
Yeah, their best running play of the night right there. They go up the left side. He puts his foot in the ground and gets north and south. He had a big hole to run through, and it wasn't until he got to the Auburn secondary did he get touched, and he delivered the blow right there. You can feel that momentum over on that Opelika sideline.
Gagliano. No, yeah, right. It is Wildcat. It's a fake to Cooper. They got the seal. They got the edge. They're into the end zone from 7 yards out, and the Bulldogs now lead 20-13.
Yeah, Auburn's got to figure that out right there, because that's 2 consecutive running plays over the left side where the hole was massive. And the running back, you know, it has nobody to even out there to force a tackle. And so you need to make this team as one-dimensional as you can. You can't let them get what they're getting through the air, but also start running the football. That's not a recipe for success to win this game.
20-13, Opelika has the lead. PAT is up, and that PAT is good. 4:02 left to go here. Dogs lead by 8. We'll be back after this. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Hey, it's Dave from the Car
play here. Wings 94-3.
4:02 left to go here. That kick will be landing at the goal line, and that's a live football, and it goes out of bounds. We'll see what they're marking. It'll be Auburn ball. Is it at there?
It shouldn't. I mean, he never had control of that ball. I don't think you can knock it out right there.
Now you got to recover everything. It's either Opelika ball at the 4 or it's a kick out of bounds. It can't be marked at the 4-yard line. How's it marked at the 4-yard line? Unless it's ruled that Opelika touched it, they just did not control it in the field of play, and that's how Auburn takes over at the 4-yard line. You can't let that ball bounce.
Yeah, no, we've talked about that. We've seen kids that just assume that ball is going to hit short of the goal line and then roll in, and that time it hits, checks up at about the 2-yard line, rolls backwards, and we just watched it. And luckily that thing got out of bounds, so Auburn gets terrible field position here to start this drive.
And Auburn needs a drive. Auburn finds himself down 8, 2 straight touchdowns from Opelika. Davis Harson in the shadow of his own goalpost. Claps a hand, will drop back, and looks to the near side, looking for Ian Nation. Has it at the 40-yard line. They might mark it at the 41 or the 42. They'll put it at the 41-yard line. Big gain on the play, gain of 37.
Yeah, great throw, because he had to throw that between the guy that was covering Nation and then a safety that was coming over the top. So he fit it right in between them and had plenty of time. Did a good job just kind of sliding to his left and keeping his eyes downfield. Had a lot of open room to run with the ball, but decides to throw that thing to Nation, and Nation makes a great contested catch.
He also had an open out route, and Auburn High moving around some guys. Jack Hudson is now your outside receiver. Josephson into the game, as well as Palmer. Claps a hand, DV on the give, cuts out, makes a guy miss, runs through one tackle, and that's where DV's got to get vertical, and that's one of the few times this year he hasn't. Also not a generous spot there, loss of 1 on what should have been a gain of about 3 or 4.
Yeah, he got a couple of yards and then started to go sideways and then ran a little bit backwards, and is going to get credited for a negative gain right there on that play. But good job by Opelika as Auburn tries to lean that run game again of limiting the damage and putting Auburn behind the sticks.
It's got to be a play where in this game you got to get a couple. You can't give up 3 or 4 yards there on that one.
That's right.
Harson wants the go ball once again to Nation. Nation goes up, and he makes a catch. Holy cow, just throw it to him every single time. Oh, man. Gain of 23 on the play.
Man, I thought that ball was going to be picked. The corner had a beat on it, but Nation just goes up and makes a catch over his shoulder. It looks like he caught it with one hand and pinned it onto his right shoulder right there. Nice placement of the ball by Harson, and Auburn's got something going across the 40-yard line.
2-by-2 set here for the Tigers. DV in the gun next to Harson. The line gets down. 2:25 and counting. Here comes blow my motion. Harson keeps it, tries to go backside, and he's a block away. A gain of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 8. The quarterback keep there. It's been a block away.
Yeah, and that's just the athleticism right there of Opelika, because Harson, I think, thought he saw pay dirt right there. And there's nothing in front of him but a defensive tackle or linebacker from the back chases him down, and it limits the damage there.
2:05 and counting now on under 2 minutes left to go here in the first half. Tigers down 8. Harsin has it, drops back, wants the out, has Blomeyer. Blomeyer gets hog-tied close to the first down marker. They're going to put him right there at it across the 30-yard line to about the 29 on 2nd and 8. Picks up about 7, 3rd and 1. Maybe actually they'll move it back 3rd down and 2.
Yeah, that was a good job by a great pass by Harsin and right on the money. He's getting upfield.
That
Opelika safety makes an outstanding tackle to put Auburn in 3rd down right here.
And I thought that was going to be first down yardage easy. Here comes Blomeyer in motion, and it's a hard count. It's offsides. It's offsides. It's been offside since the beginning of the rule in play. We jump into the neutral zone. It's a penalty. 2-by-2 set here. Inside handoff to DV. There's your first down and then some. Spinning around one guy to the 20-yard line. Gain of 9. I will say this. If Opelika is lining up a little bit further back and they jump, then they stay out of the neutral zone. It's not a penalty. Yeah. I'm going to assume they didn't miss 5 people going into the neutral zone. Gain of 9 on that play. 1:05 left to go here in the second quarter. Tigers down by 8.
Yeah, you need to capitalize right here and put this thing in the end zone. You're going to get the ball, start the second half. You want to go up right here with momentum.
Here comes motion. Harsin has it, and he rolls, and the pass is going to be tipped, and it's going to be incomplete. As Auburn just did not get that left side sealed off. 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. Does this count as a red zone?
Heck yeah, man. We're on the 20-yard line.
So Auburn High School has moved into the Byron Smokehouse Breakfast Red Zone. Byron Smokehouse, an Auburn tradition for over 30 years.
Dang right it is, man. We get a chance to talk about Byron, biscuits,
it's the best breakfast in town.
Sausage.
Best breakfast in town.
And no doubt about it.
If you don't agree with me, you're just wrong.
We need to get this zone many more times tonight.
52 seconds left. Harsin has it, claps his hand, drops back, looking over the middle of the field. He had his receiver. I don't think Josephson knew. He was thinking, turn the head down a little bit longer. There is going to be a flag in the middle of the field. Dead ball, personal foul on Auburn. So that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 25.
Wow, that's going to push you out of field goal range too.
48 seconds left to go here. Hey Jack, as we get this situated, give me some scores.
Yeah, Scott. So taking a look at the Franklin Tire Auto scoreboard, Franklin Tire and Auto service from Franklin, Huntsville, and Albertville. Have gone final 34-7. The Panthers of Huntsville take that one over Albertville. Opelika and Auburn, of course, 21-15 here. James Lemons over Sparkman, 21-10. That one in the first quarter. Prattville and Enterprise at play. Prattville on top of the Wildcats, 21-7. A little bit of a surprise there, Scott.
Yeah, as right here, thanks for the score, Jack. Opelika calls a timeout. They want the ball back.
Yeah.
And you know, they've moved the ball extremely efficiently through the air. Last couple times they have it. They're thinking 3rd down and 25 here. Let's get off the field and see what happens. And then let's try to go down and add another one on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I think they wanted to give their defense a blow right here, make sure everybody's on the same page. Auburn is 3rd and over 20. What is that, 25 over there that they're going to have to pick up. And no big plays. You don't want you want to take advantage of this if you're Opelika. If you're Auburn, you want to get this thing field goal range. You may want to get half of it back and even try to go for it on 4th down right here, depending on how good you feel about your field goal kicker and where this 3rd down play ends up. Coach
Etheridge not happy with the officials, having a long conversation and a lot of hands around his face. I think that's what he thought that's what he was arguing, trying to get a call on that one. How we'll go with a kind of a quad set. We've seen them do this now, and they will move out of it. A too high look for Opelika. Davis will have it. Davis Harsin has it. Now moves up and now looks to scramble, looking down the field, and he'll throw it last second to D.V. Williams. It's going to be close. There is no flag on the play. It's close to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be gained about 15, 3rd and 10. And if you're Auburn High School, unless you want to go for this, let this son of a gun run, call your timeout, and kick a field goal.
Yeah, I think that the question right there was Harsin past the line of scrimmage, and it was really close over there on the sidelines as he was thinking he was going to run it and then just shovels it off. But Auburn
calls a timeout.
I think Auburn may go for this right here. It's kind of in no man's land. I mean, if it's that's a 40. What is that?
If the 20-yard line, it is a 37-yard field goal.
Yeah, I mean, we got kickers that can do it. I think he's just wanting to decide, do we want 3 or do we want to go for 7 right here?
My thing is, since you missed the extra point, that also factors in. You might, if you're down 7, it might feel like, I would think, go for it.
Yeah.
If you kick the field goal now, a touchdown, especially with you getting the ball, might be able to score and take the lead.
Yeah.
But either way, and if you want to go for it, you draw something up. But the people and the personnel that I see on it, it's field goal. My issue is that's something you. Well, if it's blocked, whatever, something happens, Opelika has a chance after this with 18 seconds left to go.
That's right. Yeah, Auburn needs to come out of this with points because, this has been a good drive, a lot of conversions right here. And
started at the 4.
That's right. And for Opelika to walk off having held Auburn to no points, that would be a big victory for them running into the locker room after they played a really, really good first half.
Opelika has played really, really well,
we're bringing the offense back on.
That is the starting offense, and that is Clyde Pittman.
And nope, now they're going to bring the.
What do we? And now Auburn will run the field goal kickers out. Opelika will now send their group out there. If you got a fake, this is a great time to do it because you got everybody thinking all over the place.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe they're trying to get too many people on the.
Best is your field goal kicker for the Tigers. And Auburn is throwing a fake, and they got him open. It's Clyde Pittman. He catches it at the 10. There's a flag on the play. It is a touchdown. We'll see what the flag is. Etheridge is not happy. He's already going back there. He's already going to the official. If it doesn't count, this is going to hurt.
And it's going to drive us back out of field goal range, too.
Coaches are saying this should be waved off. It's going to be a touchdown. It's going to be a touchdown. Trickaroo for the Tigers.
Yeah.
Will Best, a touchdown pass to Clyde Pittman. That's why you see the offense and the defense was so that you lose Clyde Pittman.
That's correct. He checked in. The ref threw the flag because he was saying that the offensive guy never came in and declared him.
He didn't go inside the numbers.
That's right, but he did because he started there in the huddle. He was the quarterback.
Holy cow.
Wow.
12.2 left to go. Will Best from 20 yards out to Clyde Pittman. Makes this a 2-point game, and Auburn's going to chase some points here early, and they were lined up for a jumbo, and Opelika calls a timeout, and it might just be so they can yell at some officials now.
Man, no kidding. So we'll have to describe that again. So Auburn comes out in their starting offense. They bring Clyde Pittman back out. He wasn't the quarterback on this drive.
And that's something I noticed immediately.
They align in an offensive formation, and then immediately they run their kicking team out. Opelika then brings their field goal block team out, and there's confusion because they run about 3 guys off to exchange for 3 guys that are going to be jumping in for them. And as in the process of Auburn bringing in their field goal team, they leave Clyde Pittman right over here on the sideline, and they snap that ball straight to Will Best, and he just makes a fantastic throw over probably his first touchdown in his Auburn career, I would imagine.
First passing touchdown for Will Best. The other thing is they waited for the offense to almost get all the way off the field.
They did, yep. Ran the play clock down to about 4 seconds.
Here comes motion for the Tigers, going for 2. Pittman has it, rolling out. He's got him open. He's in the end zone. Give him 2, and we're tied with 12.2 left to go here. We're tied 21-21. What crazy things happen in Auburn and Opelika, and we just saw a pretty darn crazy drive there. We'll be back in 30 seconds. We're tied. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel, safely drive that automobile. Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel.
On mortgage lenders, the wins just feel bigger. Auburn Bank, champions of you. Member FDIC and equal housing lender. NMLS number 403461.
Auburn High School football on Wings 94.3. Now that's classic.
Will Best from 20 yards out to Clyde Pittman ties this thing up at 21-21 with 12.2 left to go. And now kicking off will be Towns Magoo.
Man, what wing. That was fantastic play call.
A lot of in-depth execution had to go into that play working the way that it did. Magoo will send it deep, and it will be taken in the end zone, and Opelika will take over at the 20-yard line. So on that play, Auburn calls a timeout. Davis Harsin drove them from the 4 down to the 20-yard line, facing a 4th and 10. They send the offense out there with Clyde Pittman and then decide to send their field goal unit on, making it look like they just want Opelika and maybe call a timeout, which they should have, hindsight, and everything like that. And then they just sneak Clyde Pittman and keep him on the field.
I'm guessing we didn't send a lineman out there because I didn't notice anything about the formation looking odd. We had a holder. We had 2 wing guys. I mean, we had everything that looked like a normal field goal, and they just snapped it directly to the kicker. And Best makes just an accurate throw out here. That was not an easy throw. That was from the hash mark over there all the way to the numbers.
And he put it on the money. Now
Auburn needs to watch for something.
Make sure there's no trickery here. Gagliano will take it, and that'll do it, I believe, here for the halftime. As before we send it to half, Jack, don't get run by the coaches. What was that scoring drive for Auburn High School to tie things up?
Got a big drive for Auburn there to close the half. 9 plays. They go 96 yards from the 4-yard line. A couple of big plays on there. Davis Harsin hitting Ian Nation a couple of times. Ian already at, get this, 154 yards in the first half. And finally that big pass from Will Best to Clyde Pittman from 20 yards out. Tie ball game at the half.
Holy cow, what a first half. Opelika's passing game is humming right now. The Auburn offense has been fine. They've had to punt once. Opelika's had to punt once. The PAT is swiped off. We're all even. We'll do it all again in the second half. On the other side of this break is the Orthopedic Clinic halftime report. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
My joints aren't what they used to be. Routine exercise, playing ball outside with the kids, riding bikes on vacation. I ain't never worried about keeping up.
Okay, so when the guy is kicking, so like they're all lined up, right? And the guy is going to kick it. You want to follow medium. So like medium is like that. So you try it. Nope, that's too slow. Okay, follow. That's medium. This is slow. That's how you should be. So when the ball is literally forward, like.
Hello and welcome to AHS Halftime. I'm your host, Max Mesman, and boy, do we have a game today. Of course it is, because it's the 97th meeting all time between these two heated rivals. Currently 21-21 at the half. But before we get into the score of this game, we're going to have some scores across the state. Currently, Jeff Davis and Lee are locked in a close one. Lee is winning by a score of 7-6 at halftime. Also, number 2, Fairhope, is kind of on upset alert right now. They're only up 17-15 against Foley going into the third quarter. And then Enterprise is definitely on upset alert. They're currently down 21-7 at home against Prattville. That game is currently going into the fourth quarter and going down to the wire. And then a big one, number 6, Hewitt-Trustville at number 3, Thompson. It is currently 6-0 Hewitt-Trustville, and it is at the half, about to go into the second half. And then last night, so if you didn't know, Central and Dothan switched their game to Thursday because of the hurricane. And Central won the game 35-28. And that means if Opelika ends up winning this game, they would be first outright in the region with a win over Auburn. And then, of course, this game is currently tied 21-21 at half. And just some key plays from the first half. Opelika started out the game extremely fast, like faster than fast. They started out with a 63-yard pass from Gagliano, their quarterback, who has been insane in the passing game this first half. And they ended up scoring immediately in the first 2 minutes of the game, just like that. But then Auburn did a good job, as they have through the season and through this half, of answering immediately. They ended up going down the field and having a 40-yard touchdown pass from Pittman to Ian Nation, who is having another amazing game, over 100 receiving yards, looking great. But then it gets tricky because Auburn ends up missing the extra point, which that could come back to bite them. But then Auburn, on their second drive, after they get a stop over Opelika, they ended up going down and scoring another touchdown, and they made the score 7-13. But Opelika, they don't stand down to a challenge. They end up coming back and scoring a few drives later, and they have the lead 14-13. And then it gets even weirder because Auburn has a 3-and-out. Now, going up until that point, they only had one punt. But then late in the second quarter, they have a 3-and-out, and Opelika goes right back down the field and scores on a 25-yard touchdown pass, another one from Gagliano, who, like I said, had a great first half and is looking to continue that in the second half for Opelika. And all hope seemed lost for Auburn to be, looked like they were going to be down by 8 at halftime. But Auburn ends up coming back and scoring with 12 seconds left to go, and they have a 40-yard touchdown pass from Clyde Pittman to tie the game up. Will actually make it a 2-point game, but they end up going for 2 and going for 2 successfully, and it ties the game at 21, and that's where we stand at halftime. Now, let's look at some positives and negatives for both teams. Opelika, their passing game has been stellar, and I honestly think that's a big surprise, or actually, excuse me, not a big surprise, because their last game, they had almost 300 passing yards through the air against Theodore, even though they lost that game. But passing game has been really well. Running game has been kind of iffy. It's been there on some plays, but it hasn't been great. And then you look at the negatives, penalties, both on the offensive side and defensive side. They've been plagued with it. Actually, through the entire first half, they were offsides on most of the plays, but a lot of them weren't called. So they need to be careful about that because that can be a real game changer towards the end of the second half. And then Auburn, their positive is, well, they've been able to keep up with Opelika. I'd say their offense has been, pretty good. It usually is. Hasn't been like their top tier, but they've still been decent. I'd say their running game is an advantage, as they had a 15-yard touchdown run from D.B. Williams, and he's had a couple of good scampers so far in the game. He hasn't broken out for any big runs. I expect to see that in the second half. And then their negative is allowing big plays, which we talked about it in pregame, and it's happened throughout the season, including last game against Ramsey. They allowed just so many big plays. For example, the 63-yard pass to start off the game, and then a 41-yard pass near the end of the second half. And so they need to lower on the big plays. They need to get some coverage downfield. That needs to be a big focus of Auburn. And as I say, keys to the second half, we go into the keys to the second half. Opelika, keep airing it out. That has been a huge factor for this tie ball game. Looked like it was going to be a lead, but it's a tie ball game. And then for the defense, get pressure on Clyde as well as Davis Harson. They have gotten to him a few times. I think they have about 2 or 3 sacks in the first half, and they've also been able to tackle him in the open field, which a lot of teams haven't been able to do, but Opelika is doing a good job of it today. And then for Auburn, they need to protect the QB, like I said, because they're going to be coming for him. I feel like that Clyde and Davis are they're at their worst whenever they're under pressure. Now, that's for most QBs, but for this game, because they're tackling them in the open field, they need to get pressure on them, and that will be key. And then Auburn's defense, they need to cover downfield. I mean, you can allow some close passes, is what I'm saying. So you need to push the cornerbacks back a little bit. We cannot get beat over the top, because I feel like our open field tackling has been good, as it usually is, but they need to be sure they don't get beat over the top. And my bold second half prediction is Auburn needs to start fast in the second half, because last game they did not. They allowed 21 points, they allowed 14 points almost immediately against Ramsey, and kind of made it look like a game for a little bit. It ended up not being so. But this is Opelika team that has shown they can play. They can play with the #1 team in the state. And so, unlike past matchups, Auburn needs to come out guns blazing in the second half. And that's going to do it for AHS at the half. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I will see y'all at the end of the game, and go Tigers.
Here's to the straggly ones, the lopsided ones, the first ones, the I miss my beard ones. Hey, I look good with this ones. But no way he's grown that in a week ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. That one. The itchy ones. The never forgotten ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The started late ones. The absolutely filthy ones. The drawn-on ones, the finger ones, the pin ones. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones. And the yeah, why not ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
So, I keep hearing how things are getting back to normal. Really? When am I back to normal? What is normal anyway? I can't even remember. Is this normal? Seriously? No. Was this ever normal? Please. I think this used to be normal. Then I figured out, just stop it. So much has changed. No wonder nothing feels normal. But here I am, still standing. A brand new edition of me. This is no time to go back to anything. It's time to go forward and discover the new person I am now. I'm all in. For some great tips on finding your new normal, visit yourlifeyourvoice.org. You look familiar.
Most people around this area will talk about the Auburn LSU game going on at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Get your tickets now. And, hey, don't forget to tune in tomorrow to After the Game with myself and Carter Bird. We'll break down the entirety of the action right after that game goes final. Moving on through the night, 6:30 tomorrow on ABC, NC State, Clemson. Clemson a touchdown favorite there. Also at 7, Georgia Tech and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh a favorite by 22 in that one. That one on 7 on the ACC network. Finally, in the night cap, Arizona State and USC. USC and Lincoln Riley trying to keep that momentum going and get to a 5-0 mark. 9:30 it'll take place on ESPN. And then finally, 10 o'clock tomorrow night, the latest of late games, Stanford and Oregon going at it in Autzen Stadium in Oregon. Former Auburn quarterback Bo Nix trying to defeat the Cardinal and move his Ducks to 4-1 on the season. That'll do it for the Franklin Tire and Auto scoreboard. Once again, that scoreboard update brought to you by Franklin Tire and Auto. Friendly service from Franklin East University Drive in Auburn, Alabama. Band on the field for Auburn High School. About 8.5 minutes left to go until we get back to action. So tell you what we'll do. Let's go ahead and send it to break. Come right back and get some thoughts from Scott Bagwell and Rob Pate. And then we'll try to catch up with Keith Esridge down on the sideline. You're listening to Auburn High School football on the Auburn High School Sports Network, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Whether you're a senior golfer or pro athlete, high school football player or Little League superstar, injuries are sometimes just part of the game. When it happens, it's nice to know the orthopedic...
Auxiliary instructor are innovators and Michelle Bloom. The Auburn High School marching band begins our competitive season tomorrow at the Lake Martin Invitational Competition in Alexander City. Please wish the Auburn High School marching band good luck as we begin our competitive season. The Auburn High School marching band also wishes to welcome our special guests in the stands this evening, the band members of Auburn Junior High School, the future of the Auburn High School marching band.
Thoughts of suicide may feel impossible to overcome, but with help and support, you can find hope and meaning. Call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK to speak to a counselor, or visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org. It's free, it's confidential, it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And even if it feels like it, you're not alone.
My name is Carly, I'm 15 years old, and I am a heart recipient. I got my first heart transplant when I was 1.5 years old. I got my second heart when I was 13. When I step out on stage, I think I'm communicating with people. I would like to tell them that I want to make a change in life. Like, yeah, you can have 2 heart transplants, but that doesn't stop you from doing the things that you love. When I get my driver's license, of course I'm gonna say yes to be an organ donor because I've been saved twice. So who says I can't save somebody else? It's just the beginning of a new story.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Our story was begun by someone else. Our story was often shaped by generations before them. Our story was forged and maybe even defined by the experiences of our childhood. But it doesn't need to be. You can be the author. Learn how at numberstory.org.
Meet Norm. He lives with anxiety, but with the help of this latest innovation from Be Normal, he can be normal, just like everyone else. With the swipe of a finger, you can project happiness, confidence, machismo. Why settle for being real when you can be normal? The Normal Maker. New from Be Normal.
This item doesn't really work because there's no such thing as normal. We're all different. What we like, how our brains work. In fact, 1 in 5 of us live with mental illness. Don't filter who you are. Start by talking to someone you trust. And remember, there is no normal.
Big strategic advantage here in the second half. Both of these units are going to have to shore up their secondaries because both teams getting big junk plays in the passing game. I think vital is Auburn to take this opening kickoff right here and put some points on the board. Both teams in that first half had 4 drives. Both teams had 3 touchdowns. Both teams punted once. Auburn needs to capitalize on that momentum they took in at halftime and score here.
Yeah, and you know, there was a couple of times in that first half where it felt like Opelika was on the verge of taking it.
Yeah.
Auburn has to take over at their 4-yard line, down 8. They get the drive. 4th down, it feels like it's a field goal. In high school football, let's face it, a field goal can be interesting.
Yeah.
You think college kickers is a thing. Hashtag high school kickers would even be more of a thing.
Oh, man.
But a good job by the staff. The Auburn staff still won there and ties it up.
Oh, no doubt. When they direct snapped it to Will Best and I saw nobody going out for a pass, I was like, what? Are we going to punt the ball? What in the world are we doing? But then they had one-upped everybody with Clyde Pittman on the sideline.
Let's see what Opelika, how they want to kick it off. They will kick it off towards Blomeyer once again, and he will take it into the end zone. He will return it, and actually they will say that Blomeyer was standing in the end zone when he received the ball. So Auburn will take over at their 20-yard line, which is their best field position of the night.
Yeah, great opportunity right here for this team to just establish the momentum, just set the tone for what the second half looks like. See if you can't get that ground game going. See if you can't stay ahead in the chains, because we had a lot of third and long that we had to convert. We did it nicely, but that's just not where you want to be offensively.
A set here, 2-by-2 look for the Tigers. Kind of a zero-high look for Opelika. Pittman in the gun, and he's going to inside read, and he's going to keep it. Keeps his feet. He's at the 30, 35, 40. 45 cuts back and hangs on to the ball. Yeah. Nice job there by the defensive player for Opelika coming from behind of Pittman. Almost knocked it out. Gain of 31 on the play. First down, Tigers.
Yep, you're exactly right, Scott. Pittman had nothing but green grass, and as he tries to cut towards the Auburn sideline, number 22, the outside linebacker for Opelika, Will Garner, he just ripped at that ball, punched from behind, and we're able to capitalize on a big play and maintain possession.
Pittman drops back. Here comes a linebacker over the middle. He finds his receiver in Josephson. Josephson makes the guy miss, cuts back up the middle. He'll get hit hard there and get close to first down yardage. Coming back and making the play, Brenton Williams, the big defensive lineman. Gain of 9, second down and 1.
And there's something that Opelika has seen on film. When we get in that formation, they keep dropping that defensive tackle off into that throwing lane, and that time he was almost there to intercept that pass. So good job by Josephson to maintain that demonstration to pull that thing in.
Pittman in the gun. Here comes motion by Blomeyer. Inside handoff to DV. DV bounces off. Should have his first down yardage. He's going to be close to it, and that's something that we've seen DV do a lot. Very good patience and then breaking it out. It's time for him to stay vertical this time, and this is something that DV ran into an issue last year in this big games and really against Central, where he was almost too patient and just wouldn't put his foot in the ground and go vertical.
Yeah, he's done a lot better when he gets north and south. That's how he scored his first touchdown tonight. It was right over the center, and every time we try to go sideways, this Opelika defense is running well to the football and limiting the yardage.
First and 10 at the Opelika 39-yard line here on the initial drive. Have DV up the middle. Now he is very patient. He's going to pick and choose his way close to the 35, gain of about 4 on the play, second down and 6.
Yeah, presses the hole. He just kind of waits for everything to get flushed out of there, and then he jumps over the people that are lying on the ground and just does a really good job of just kind of weaving his way for 4 yards right there on first down.
Third quarter here, 10-10 left to go. We're tied, and Auburn on their first drive, of the second half, have it with a second down and about 6 from the Opelika 35-yard line. Pittman in the gun, DV next to him on his left. Claps a hand, drop back is Pittman. Looking over the middle, has his out route. Wow. Blomeyer makes the catch. Great catch, great hands, and a nice route down to about the 20-yard line. They'll put it at the 19. That moves Auburn into the Byron Smokehouse Breakfast Red Zone. Byron Smokehouse, an Auburn tradition for over 30 years.
Yeah, they have flood concept over here to the Auburn boundary, and they had everyone, all 3 zones, somebody was in it. Blomeyer was in that middle zone right there, and that pass was thrown on a rope. Blomeyer goes up and climbs the ladder to make an outstanding catch with his hands. Auburn into the red zone.
Gain of 16 on the play. McLean in motion now. Here he comes. And a inside handoff to DV. No, once again, Pittman will keep it. He'll stay on the ground, will lean forward, get a couple. That one also felt like it was close to busting, and Auburn looks like they're starting to move the read point and starting to have some more success in that run game. 2nd and 8 coming.
Yeah. The quarterback keeping the ball is making all the difference in the world and opening those run lanes and keeping those linebackers frozen. I think that time, though, was one where he probably should have given it because DV had a big lane over the right side.
One of those things where he can't read the hole there. He's just reading what he has. Rolled to the right for Pittman, has his tight end and Griffin McLean. There is the outside linebacker. Gain of 3 is going to bring up a third down at about 6 at the 15-yard line.
Yes, same play, opposite side. That was the same formation, the same play design that Auburn hit Blomeyer on to get into this position. That time he checks it down to the tight end coming in the flat. McLean makes a nice catch, but Opelika right there to limit the yards after the catch. It's going to make a third and right at about 6.
8.5 left to go here in the third quarter. Tigers will send 2 receivers to the right, a solo receiver to the left, and a tight end attached, and Griffin McLean almost just might throw a fade ball to Ian Nation. Nation will check onto the line of scrimmage. Here comes motion for Blomeyer, and it's a keep for Pittman, and he's into the open field, has his first down, cuts back, makes a great cut, runs over a guy in the end zone. Yes, he is. Touchdown, Tigers. What a run from Clyde Pittman from 15 out. Oh,
Yes, sir. I mean, that's a senior quarterback right there that wants to win. And, man, that play looked like it was blown up in the backfield, but he gets loose and makes this zigs and zags all down to the goal line. And then inside the 5-yard line, he just puts his elbow. We saw him do that to end a drive in the first half. And this time it's for a touchdown to go up. Auburn regains the lead right there on an outstanding run by the quarterback.
Towns Magoo in to attempt the PAT. Low snap kick is up, and that kick is good. 8:06 left to go here. Tigers got exactly what they wanted, and that was a touchdown drive and lead by 7. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel, safely drive that automobile. Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel.
That's GOGUE center.auburn.edu or call the box office at 334-844-TIXS.
AHS football on Wings 94.3, part of the Auburn Network family of stations.
8:06 left to go here. Bill Belichick kind of made it popular talking about the middle part of the game that he calls on the middle 8. Well, Auburn just scores right before half to tie it in a still fashion, and then right down the field for about a 4-minute drive, and Auburn High School now has a 7-point lead. 28-21 is our score. Magoo will approach and send it towards the end zone, and will be touchback. That one about 6 yards deep. Jack, Auburn High had an impressive scoring drive on that opening drive. What was it?
80 yards in 8. Excuse me, Scott. 80 yards in 8 plays. Clyde Pittman give him 50 of those on the ground, and a 15-yard touchdown for the senior quarterback, Scott.
Yeah, it was an impressive drive. Clyde Pittman hits, it was a midline read, first play all the way to the 50. He finishes it. He also had a couple of nice passes in there. That was a very, very nice drive by Clyde Pittman. Opelika, I'm surprised that they're getting so much time to be able to make a play call right there, and Whitehead has not signaled it in. And finally he will. And here we go. Tigers have a lead. We'll see what the adjustment is for the defense. I think it's going to be play a little bit softer and see what happens. Gagliano in the gun, 2x2 set here. He's going to snap his hands, and it's an outside zone. Auburn does a good job initially, but just picking and choosing his way, being patient, is the back there for Opelika. It's number 20. Play Jakari Thornton. I thought Auburn was going to just string it out and then go make a play, but puts his foot in the ground, gain of 20, first down.
Yeah, it sure did look like that. That time it wasn't really off tackle. He kept going all the way to the sidelines, and he finally found his alley. Mark Tolan does a great job of chasing him down from the opposite side defensive end, down the Opelika sideline, or else that thing may have gone even further.
Interesting to see. It's been a lot of success for Opelika running to the left here in the last couple of drives for the Dogs against Auburn. Here comes orbit motion for Opelika, and it's again to the left. Coleman Granberry almost makes the play, and then there on the play is Deuce White. Gain of about 1. Opelika wanted a face mask. Octavian Brown wanted a hold. Either way, no flags. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9.
Well, it was a big play right there by Deuce White that you said. Took him down with one arm, but Coleman Granberry had taken a shallower angle right there and had undercut the play. And so there was no linebacker over the top. That play busts out, then that could have gone for a big play.
Right now, it looks like Opelika is deciding to run away from their tight end and running right at Cade Rayburn. Into the gun, Gagliano is going to roll out, looking for a receiver behind him. Was good coverage there from the inside from Brown, and also Pete Davis adding pressure. 3rd down and 9, time to get off the field if you're this defense.
Yep, absolutely. Opelika moves the pocket. They really respect this Auburn rush and the ability to get people home, so they roll their quarterback to the right and just try to flood concept. And Octavian Brown kind of got in the throwing lane right there. But nice coverage. You're exactly right, Scott. 3rd and long, get off the football field, and this place goes crazy.
Caleb Pitts checks into the game, as does Will Walker in a pass rush situation, and the front 4 have to get home. Here comes motion for Opelika into a 3-by-1 set. Gagliano's going to drop back, wants a comeback route, and they were going to attack Jaden Walker. not bad coverage. It was going to take a great throw, high and outside, incomplete, punting time.
Yeah, they look like they're going to go straight for the just run by him like they did in the previous drive in the end of the first half. They threw a beautiful ball to get the ball down there for their last touchdown, but that time he stops at the sticks but just overthrows him. That was probably the worst pass that he's thrown this game.
Auburn doesn't have the right numbers here. They got 3 and 2. They're trying to get people over here. Opelika is trying to signal in something. Again, Gagliano is the punter, and I mean, that's your quarterback back there, so all kind of different options. Under center now is Opelika goes. There's a bunch of weirdness going on here. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and Opelika is going to take a delay. Holy cow. Yeah. That almost felt like Opelika decided to play chess here.
Yep.
And Auburn doesn't fall for it. Opelika takes the 5-yard penalty, and there wasn't a timeout called. I don't know. Auburn needs to make sure they're ready to go. Auburn's got to go. Auburn's got to go. Call your timeout. Call your timeout. Call your timeout. And he snapped it over the punter's head. Auburn was not ready anyway. Gagliano gets it. He falls down, and it's a safety for the Tigers. Holy cow. Wow. Oh, man.
Wow. Never seen anything like that, Scott. Never seen anything like that.
Opelika looked like they wanted to. Auburn thought a timeout was called. Nothing was called. Opelika rushes their punt team out there. Auburn very slow getting out there. They still had people standing there on the sideline.
Opelika was not going to punt that ball. Opelika was going to go for it.
Yeah, but
Opelika was about to go for it to snap it to their quarterback, and
holy cow. And now it's a safety. Tigers lead 30-21.
And so instead of Opelika having an Auburn defense trying to run back on the field, what ends up happening is the snapper snaps the ball over the head into the end zone. I mean, 40 yards, 35 yards into the end zone, and Gagliano has to fall on it in the Auburn in the Auburn end zone.
He's 6'4", so that means that ball was like 7 feet tall coming over his head. If he hits it, he's running. He might score.
They out-chessed themselves right there. That was their coaching staff wanting to one-up that Auburn coaching staff for what they did with heads-up play on the fake field goal. They tried the exact same thing, calling what looked like took a penalty. Auburn thinks it's a timeout. They come over with their helmets off. Opelika sprints back out of the football to try to get a play as Auburn's running their guys back on the field. It was wide open. I mean, they had it set up, and Opelika just didn't execute.
And that's something where I know I was calling it. The coaches up here have to be calling for it. The problem is you need a coach with a headset on down there to call the timeout.
Let me tell you what, I don't know how Auburn didn't have multiple guys on the field after all.
I think they had 6 on the field.
There weren't many.
No.
I mean, maybe 6 guys. I mean, most of our guys were on this side of the hash, and the ball was on the far hash. So just a blown opportunity right there for Opelika and a huge swing for Auburn.
It has been a interesting game, to say the least. And this one will be kicked right down the middle of the field. Ian Nation will take it to the near side, and he's got a seam. And he's at the 45. He's going to run out of bounds, and at about the 47-yard line is where Auburn High School will take over, first down and 10 in Opelika territory.
Yeah, Auburn gets a good block on that kickoff return right there by 88. Gibson Lowridge out here on the corner allows Ian Nation to get up the sideline, and Auburn, like you said, almost to midfield to start this drive after just an incredible sequence of events right there.
Their best field position of the night at the 47-yard line. Wow. Pittman stays in the game at quarterback, claps his hand to inside read to D.V. Williams, and D.V. runs hard. We saw him get very north and south there, gain of about 3 on the play, and there's some conversation going on up the middle there about, because it felt like, again, you were one block away because there were 2 guys in the read situation there, second down and 7.
Yeah, Pittman rode that one for a long time.
Pittman drops back, wants the wheel route, has Nation on a flat back corner, and just a little bit outstretched, 3rd and 7.
Yeah, if he just puts a little bit more air on that one, then that's another big play for Ian Nation down the Auburn sideline. Had exactly what they wanted, but just a little too much mustard on that pass there.
Even more so, the post was wide open to McLean. What was not open is the initial read on that play, and that is the wheel. They ran 3 people to D.V. Williams on the wheel. Pittman claps his hands, drop back, steps up, wants his comeback route as the receiver. That's Jack Hudson. Jack Hudson, first down yardage to about the 30-yard line, carries a couple of guys on his back. That's going to be a gain of about 21 yards, first down on a big 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, great throw right there on 3rd down because that was on the left hash mark. He throws it outside the numbers to the Opelika sideline, puts it right on the money to Hudson, and Hudson carries about 3 guys, like you just said, for an additional 5 yards. Big play right there to keep the sticks, keep the momentum on this Auburn side.
First since the Enterprise game that we see Auburn roll with the same quarterback in back-to-back drives. First down and 10, right at about the 30-yard line. Pittman in the gun, and now they'll start their motion with McLean. And it's a bubble to Nation. Nation looking for some help. Will put his face out. That should be a face mask, and it's missed. Holy cow. It's missed. Yeah. It's a loss of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 12, but Ian Nation head goes flying back, and that official's going to have to wear that one for the next about 5 to 10 plays.
Yeah, they definitely missed that one, and he'll hear about it. I keep seeing D.V. Williams reach down and pull up on his toe. It makes me think maybe he's having a cramp in his right calf, so we'll have to kind of see that out. I also think that, with the way that Clyde Pittman's throwing the ball, I mean, plus his ability to keep the ball on the zone is the reason why he's still in there.
Here comes Blomeyer, and Pittman keeps it, makes one guy miss, and will kind of back his way across the 30-yard line, picks up about 4, 3rd and 12, or 2nd and 12, goes to about 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, should have been 1st down after the flag or the no call right there on the face mask, but Auburn kind of just lumbering around right here as the play clocks.
Well, you got an Opelika guy
down.
I
see.
Well, he just went down, and something you just mentioned about DV pulling on his toe. I think a lot of athletes, when it is 95 degrees, are very, very much aware of the heat and everything like that. It has cooled off a lot.
Yep.
Doesn't mean your bodies aren't still using the same amount of energy, so that might be something that's going on here. Is that
Right, you don't respect the need to hydrate. I mean, when you know it's hot, you know you're going to be out here, then you think about it all day. You make sure that you've got the juices in your body. You eat well. You know it's going to be cool, and you think, well, I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you pay the price for that.
Auburn High School on a big 3rd down and 8. 4:45 and counting left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Tigers now lead by a score of 30-21.
Auburn's really done a good job of kind of attacking the wide side of the field. The ball's relatively in the middle of the field here, but not so much into the boundary over the last couple of possessions.
Pittman fakes over the middle. Has to go for McLean at the 10. Carrying a guy into the end zone for a touchdown. From 28 yards out on 3rd and 8. It's a strike from the senior, and the Tigers lead 36-21.
Yeah, that time they got McLean up the sideline right there. It was that what looked like the flood combination, but that time he turned it up instead of going out towards the flat. And Pittman does a nice little job with his head and shoulders to fake out the secondary for Opelika, and McLean is wide open, and he bulldozes an Opelika defender into the end zone for the touchdown.
Will Best onto it at the PAT. 4:20 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Auburn High School leads 36-21. Kick is on the way. Kick is up, and that kick is good. 4:20 left to go here. Tigers have scored 16 straight points to take a 16-point lead. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Extinction is forever. To save America's most iconic and imperiled species from extinction, we must fight for their future. Fight to save the natural lands that wildlife call home. Fight to limit pollution. Fight for smart development. Fight for their future. And fight for ours. For so goes nature, so goes us.
4:20 left to go here. Tigers lead 37-21 here in the 3rd quarter. Correction, Auburn has 24 straight points. They were down 21-13.
Yeah.
You need to put this one in the back of the end zone. Magoo will approach. He'll kick it away.
It is.
And it is into the back of the end zone and out of the back of the end zone.
Was.
Hello, Towns. Heck, that was an impressive drive by Clyde Pittman. Once again, what was it?
The senior takes him down the field, 53 yards, starting out with really good field position. A couple of runs, couple of passes later, and Clyde Pittman hits Griffin McLean from 28 yards out, capping off that 6-play, 53-yard drive for the touchdown. Back to you, Scott.
It's funny how things change. It's looking like a 4th and 10. Auburn High is going to have to settle for a field goal. They call the timeout. They run their trick field goal. It works. They tie it. Score a touchdown. Opelika wants to run their trick punt. They have it. Snap it over the quarterback's head. And then here we go. Auburn up by 2 scores. Gagliano in the gun, claps a hand, and wants to hand it off to outside zone. And Auburn sure up their right side, the Opelika's left side, loss of 2 on that one.
Yeah, that time Octavian Brown is out there. Also, Coleman Granberry's running inside out. So they're going to get a tackle for loss, put Opelika behind the sticks right here on the initial play of this drive.
I think it's been into the boundary as well.
It has been, yeah. I mean, it's almost they're a carbon copy of what Auburn has done all season long.
But what they have done some is put guys there. So we're just going to put a bunch of guys there, try to get a hat on a hat and go. 2-by-2 set now for Opelika. There is an up back to the left. He'll move over to the right now for Gagliano. Snap it, clap his hands, will step back, and he wants to throw it downfield. Pete Davis is in stride for stride, and there was a lot of hand fighting, and that's a great job there by the receiver to turn around and give him an opportunity to make the play. They were looking for Tyrus Patton, the receiver, incomplete. That was kind of a one-man route, 3rd and 11.
It was a good throw, a good opportunity right there by the quarterback, putting a lot of pressure in the backfield. But truthfully, I think the best play on that particular play was Pete Davis not panicking because he's all by himself. The ball is in the air. He knows the crowd's rising. He knows there's going to have to be a play on the ball, and he doesn't get handsy right there at the end and get that cheap flag.
He was hand fighting, but everybody was.
Right.
2-by-2 set here. Now Opelika trying to get set as the receiver will move over to the left. 5 seconds left to go, and now they just want the out route. The corner slips on it, has the receiver that he wanted, but as that receiver comes out of his break, the ball is a little bit behind him. Incomplete time. Once again, let's see if this one is less adventurous than the last one.
It's got to be. I mean, there's no way it can be more adventurous than that. But, you know, the last 2 third down opportunities they've had have been 3rd and long. They've run the exact same play. To the sticks, run an out route. Last time the quarterback sailed it high. This time he throws it a little bit behind. Should have been caught right there. But they're trying to attack our corner on that side, but just not having success.
Gagliano will roll, and he'll hit a rugby punt, and Auburn needs to get away. Ian Nation can't get to that one. It is what it is, and it will be blown dead at about the 34-yard line, and that's where Auburn High School will take over. And Clyde Pittman comes back out.
Yeah, you know, Clyde Pittman, he's been sharp as a tack today. I mean, he's looked great. But I truly think that he's in because of the command he has when he has the offense going. But its ability to make the right decision on the zone read. Auburn has done that more. The quarterback has kept the ball more tonight, and he's made really good decisions using his legs. He's been phenomenal with his arm, but using his legs, he's really made the right choice.
I think Davis Harson has played well today.
He has.
Clyde Pittman has just been special today.
That's correct.
Here comes McLean in motion, handoff to DV, who was going to put his foot in the ground, and now he's going to bounce back, and he's going to lose. They'll mark it at 2, but again, kind of a weird situation. It looks like there's hats on some bodies, but then all of a sudden there's a couple of guys that are coming loose and just a block or 2 away. Loss of 2 there. 2nd and 12.
Yeah, Opelika still fighting, doing a good job of shedding blockers, just clogging up the alleyways that DV tries to wait patiently for. Just not a lot of places to go right there over the left side.
There's another toe pull that I just saw there. 2:35 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Pittman will hand it off to DV. No, he keeps it, and he fumbles. As that one, what Opelika has decided to do is when they see that mesh situation, it is now a mesh run. Opelika is not going to let Clyde Pittman sit there and read it because he's proven he'll do it right.
That's right.
It's now going to be a rush, and he's got to guess. 3rd down and 12.
Yeah, they attacked it right at that point. You're exactly right, and he's been trying to ride it as long as he can to make a wise choice, and that time almost laid it on the ground.
Let's see what Auburn High wants to draw up here on a 3rd down and 12. They've been really good on 3rd and distance here tonight. Pittman in the gun. Claps of hands, play action, drops back, has time, looking over the middle, Ian Nation wide open. He's at the 40, he's at the 35, he's at the 30, he's at the 25. He's tackled from behind, out of bounds, inside the red zone, which is brought to you by the Byron Smokehouse Breakfast. Byron Smokehouse, an Auburn tradition for over 30 years. Holy cow, what a play call.
Yeah, great play call, you're right. And Nation, man, he's having a night, and that time just attacks the middle, rubs off that other receiver, it comes right off of his backside. Pittman puts around the money, but I tell you, Scott, most impressed right there with the offensive line. Plenty of time. Opelika brings multiple people, and Auburn holds up in the offensive line front, and Pittman can kind of read it and let that play develop. And, man, it was a big, big gainer.
Gain of 56 on the play, all the way down to the 18. Pittman in the gun. DV on the rush. He's going to put his foot in the ground. He's going to run hard. He's going to get hit between the 2 safeties. He's going to get down to about the 1 or 2 yard line to the 2. I believe it's going to be 1st down yardage. It is 1st down yardage. 1st and goal, gain of 11 on the play.
And Auburn's going to go
Auburn
fast.
goes tempo. DV on the give. He gets hit at the 1, and he'll get stood up there. No gain on the play, and there's going to be a flag, and that should be on Opelika.
Yeah, multiple flags.
So what happened there is DV got stood up, and then Opelika decided to keep reaching at the ball and keep dragging him back. If this is offsetting, it's going to be a personal foul on Opelika.
Yeah. And Auburn using the opportunity to rally the student section
What
here.
happened right there in front of them.
Yeah, right in front of them. Auburn trying to go up a 3rd score right here, and yeah, just taking a lot of hits. The officials are circled around, having a lot of discussion.
I think what they're trying to figure out is, one, was there a punch?
Yeah.
Is it offsetting? Is it a one-way? How do we want to call this one? After the play, unsport personal foul on Auburn, dead ball personal foul on Opelika. They will offset, as we figured, 2nd down and goal from the 2.
Huh. It must have been reactionary where DV got up and maybe said something or pushed somebody.
Or somebody came in trying to protect him.
Yeah.
2 tight end set coming for the Tigers. And it will be a kind of a heavy set as Clyde Pittman will go out to the right, and a wildcat look with DV Williams in the gun. DV will have it, and will go right off to the right side, and he is short. 3rd down and goal from the 1, and Auburn will look what they want to do. Ian Nation is coming into the game. Does Auburn want to take this to the 4th? Auburn will take this to the 4th.
Yeah, Auburn going to let the play clock or the game clock run all the way down and walk over to the opposite end of the field and start the 4th quarter with 3rd and 1 with the opportunity to score there. 31st point in a row.
31st point in a row. We're through 4. 3rd quarter, all Tigers. Tigers now trying to add another one in the 4th quarter as they faced a 3rd down and goal from the 1. We'll be back in 1 minute. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Thoughts of suicide may feel impossible to overcome, but with help and support, you can find hope and meaning. Call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK to speak to a counselor, or visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org. It's free, it's confidential, it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And even if it feels like it, you're not alone.
Switching to our Visa Platinum credit card or secured Visa credit card. At Four Seasons Federal Credit Union, our competitive rates, no annual fees, and no fees for balance transfers and cash advances are how we reward our members. Apply in person or online now at apply.fourseasonsfcu.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Subject to approval. Equal opportunity lender. Ask for details.
Interesting look.
The Eagles, Def Leppard, and the Tigers play here. Wings 94-3.
Start of the 4th quarter here. 3rd goal from the 1. this might feel like a little bit of a pop pass right here.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
DV in the shotgun on a Wildcat. He'll have it, and he'll tiptoe. That's the first time we see him just not hit the hole short. 4th down goal coming.
Yeah, you got to commend Opelika for just standing tall right here. I mean, a lot has not gone their way in this second half, and Auburn got the ball down there 1st and goal inside the 5, and they've held strong right here 3 plays in a row.
I think that's one where it looks like if DV lowers his head and goes, it's probably there.
Yeah,
Clyde Pittman came running in, and he said, let's go. So we'll see what Auburn wants to do. There's 20 seconds left to go here on the play clock. Clyde will have to strap up the rib protectors and put in a normal, quote-unquote, normal offense on 4th down and goal from the 1. They need to go quick, though. 9 seconds left to go on the play clock. And Auburn will go under center. Clyde Pittman looks to sneak it, and they're going to call a false start because D.V. Williams. So you called it on Auburn, but you didn't get it on Opelika. Because D.V. took this. If D.V. stands still, it's a touchdown. And Auburn will kick the field goal now.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing that happened earlier in the game, and it didn't get called and it was a quarterback sneak that Opelika scored on. But so good job right there by Opelika of making this 3 instead of 7.
Especially when it's 1st and goal at like the 2-yard line. Will Best on to attempt this field goal. It is being spotted at about the 13-yard line. Kick is on his way. Kicks up. He missed it to the right.
Yeah, even better for them. So now the defense has to come out and make sure that this doesn't create a
momentum swing.
A jolt. Yep, a spark. Yeah, Auburn got out of the typical flow of their offense when they tried to go Wildcat. Ran it 3 consecutive times and just never could get a push.
Ran it right.
Yeah, never could get a push to get it over the end zone. That last time, you're right. I think if DV had just put his shoulders down instead of trying to pick a hole, he probably bust through there.
Yeah, and there's not really going to be a hole in a goal line situation. It's it's going to be create your own hole. We're trying to get a hat on a hat. You find a crease and go.
Yep.
Tigers still lead by 16. A big stop, and the ball goes to the 20-yard line for the Dogs. And their 3rd drive here in the second half. Motion off to the right. Gagliano claps the hands. Outside zone to a slant. Has his receiver. Is this an RPO, just an outside zone? Finds Cooper, gain of about 6 or 7 on the play.
Yeah, that's his guy. I mean, every big moment he's looked for 23, and he goes to start this drive back to him, and we can't corral him and limit the opportunities that they have.
Something interesting there. Octavian Brown peeled off pretty quick, and we'll see if he might be able to sneak in there and pick that one off. Gagliano in the gun, claps the hands. And again, it's an inside give, and Auburn High has good pressure to the ball. They go, or pressure on the point of attack. They go for the ball and not the tackle.
Yep.
Getting to the 30-yard line, gain of 3, 1st down is the Opelika back.
Yeah, that's their 10th grader that, truthfully, I think he needs to play more for them. Every time he's come in, he's really moved the pile forward.
The reason he hasn't is he's been hurt. He got hurt against Central and hasn't been 100% since.
Well, he definitely looks the part, and he's been a problem as far as moving the piles forward.
There is a timeout on the called by the officials. Looks like we're ready to go pretty quick. Empty set here for the Bulldogs. First time we've seen this look. Looks like it's going to be kind of man across the board for Opelika. Or for Auburn, rather. Auburn shows pressure. And they'll only bring 4. Stick. Oh! Coleman Granberry at the 20, at the 15, at the 10. Touchdown, Tigers!
Oh, wow, man. That's the same type of play we saw him make over at the Crampton Bowl. Just an athlete, being an athlete in space, reading the quarterback's eye. That's the first time I can remember them going 5 wide, empty backfield. They knew it was going to be a pass. Granberry, middle linebacker, almost becomes a free player. And as they try to run that little quick stick route, he throws it right into the chest of Coleman Granberry, who makes a great catch, carries it onto the end zone untouched.
He showed pressure and then dropped out of it and got the pick 6. Towns Magoo in to attempt the PAT. Kick is on his way. Kick is up, and that kick. Good. 9:46 left to go here. Tigers now lead 44-21. We'll be right back in 30 seconds. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
When stress shows up, it can be hard to see. Maybe you can't sleep, or you feel sad and you don't know why. Or maybe it's worse, because stress can knock you down. It can hurt your health and your relationships. If you've lost a job, worry about your next meal, or have trouble making it through the day, we can help. Text STRESS to 211-211 to find a solution.
Here in the second half as Auburn looking to be on. They're able to hang on. They'll go 7-0 and go into the bye week, and then 2 weeks to hear about Auburn and Central.
Well, really just a phenomenal job by this Auburn team, taking advantage of every opportunity in the second half. I mean, they created the momentum when they came out and moved the ball down, start that second half, and now at every turn, every time there's a chance, man, they are just making the plays.
Magoo kicking off for the Tigers. He will approach. And he will be sent into the end zone. And we'll take this time to take a pause, 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Wings 94.3 is an Auburn network station, part of the Radio Alabama family. WGZZ and WGZZ HD, Waverly, Auburn-Opelika.
Scott Bagwell here, joined by Rob Page, Jack Hudden as well. Drew Foreman in the Auburn Network studio. Tigers lead this one by a score of 44-21 and a must-score drive here for the Bulldogs. And White Hat gave a long time to get for Opelika to get set and get their call in, and now they have their call. It looks like a bunch set, which is to the short side of the field, the right side, and they'll spread out Cooper. Been their best receiver over here to the left. And it's the inside handoff and backside zone. Great job there by the Auburn High School defense on that one. And before we talk about that, Jack, what was that score? I think it was a quick one. Might have been one play.
Yeah, excuse me. Caught me at a bad time there swallowing some water on that one. But a very quick pick six from about 20 yards out. Coleman Granberry runs it in.
That's the second time that he scored a touchdown this year. He also had a tip that led to a pick last week. But Auburn respected the run for Gagliano and then closed in on the backside. Loss of one on that one, 2nd down and 11. Gagliano will hand it off, and now there's a nice cut by Hughley into the open field as Auburn will finally get to him. Actually, check that. That was not Hughley. That was another sophomore, which is Makai Simpson.
Yeah, they got some really good young backs. You can tell from Opelika. That time that play started right, and he just used his vision to break off to the left. The play prior to that, Rico Spinks had done an outstanding job of coming from the opposite side, chase down the backside support there, and then this time it just kind of backfired as everything washed down, and Opelika bounces it out down the near sideline.
Gain of about 16 on that one. Here comes a little bit of zip motion. Gagliano will drop back, and he wants a go ball. And Jaden Walker running with the receiver, incomplete. He might have panicked a little bit. He's jumped on or tried to tackle the receiver. That was going to take a perfect pass as Walker, part of the 4x1 team that won state a year ago for this Auburn High School track team, showed some good closing speed after getting beat on the initial play.
Yeah, he did, and that ball was going to have to, like you said, be placed perfectly, and he threw it just a little bit too far. Gagliano has a great deep ball that he throws where he lets his guys run up underneath it, but good closing speed, good job not panicking, and we're talking about a young man, Jaden Walker, that has put a lot of snaps tonight that he probably didn't think he was going to have to.
20 receivers to the left with an up back to the near side, and Octavian Brown got a head start, and the running back also got going. So we're going to have a conversation here, as I think it's going to be a false start, judging by what Octavian Brown was saying. I think that guy on the other side says, I don't want to explain that this is a false start, and then the other guy saying, I don't want to explain to Auburn it's an offsides. We're going to offset it. We're going to get a legal procedure and offsides. False start and a legal procedure and an off.
I've never seen that.
We've seen
it twice tonight. I've never seen that.
The first one I could kind of get it because Auburn wasn't set and he lined up in the But this one, you had a running back and an outside backer on completely opposite sides of the formation moving at about the same time. 2nd and 10 will be the situation here. 8:33 left to go here in the fourth quarter. Tigers up 44-21. Gagliano clap twice and roll right. Auburn High takes pressure. It's going to be a hold, throwing it downfield and incomplete to nobody in particular as Caleb Pitts, the sophomore, was adding pressure. Hold on Opelika, and that's going to be 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and you're going to take that 17-yard penalty.
Oh, absolutely. And you're right. Caleb Pitts on the coming off the left edge right there, right into the face of Gagliano, trying to roll the pocket to the right. He does a good job because Auburn only rushes 4 that time, and he's able to fight off the pressure, maintain the edge, and force the holding penalty right there. So that's a young player out there playing big minutes for this Auburn defense.
We talked about the sophomore backs for Opelika that look pretty good. It's a sophomore defensive lineman that's had to tackle those guys for 3 years.
You told me that earlier in the season, and he's a big kid that can rush the passer. He looks like he's got a strong upper body, and he's really played well for this Auburn team this year.
He's got a chance to be special. Caleb Pitts, 6'3", 260, a sophomore. In the gun, Gagliano is going to hand off, trying to get to the outside, and Auburn does a great job of forcing it. I'm surprised there's no flag there. As you had backers forcing the issue, it's going to be a gain of, let's see, where are they actually going to mark it? It was 2nd down and 24.
No, you're exactly right. That time it was Caleb Pitts again that was out there trying to maintain leverage in the edge. But they got around him because his jersey was pulled up over his helmet from the backside. So that time just another just kind of causing havoc and making those guys reach out and grab the jersey to keep him contained.
That's going to be a gain of 8. 3rd down and 12 is the down in distance here. 7:40 left to go in the fourth quarter. Tigers leading 44-21.
I'm surprised Opelika, with the athlete Gagliano is, he never keeps it when he fakes that ball to the back.
Pass to the near side. Auburn High adding pressure. Clark Cleveland does a great job of honing in on Simpson, and it's going to be a gain of a couple, maybe none, as some frustration showing, but everybody gets up, and no harm, no foul. Punting time for the Bulldogs.
Well, that's something that Auburn defense, I've just been so impressed since my time just watching this team, this program. They do a great job with open field tackling, and that time you got a linebacker in space against an athlete from Opelika, and, man, he just plays it to perfection. He doesn't bite on any of the fakes. He stands there and makes a clean open field tackle and gets Auburn off the football field.
Rugby punt. Nation will let it go. Pass it him. Let it go, buddy. Don't. Yeah. He was lined up to play it, and it takes a hop away from him. It's going to end up being a field-flipping punt there for Opelika. And it was one of those things where it looked like Nation's there, and we saw it earlier. Got a good hop, and he fielded it and got what he could out of it. That time it bounces away from him. He doesn't put the hand out, plays it safe. And, Auburn has their worst position of the half, but you have the ball with 6:30 left.
You're up 3 scores, and the last thing you want to do is, in an attempt to save field position, give them a free possession. So heads-up play right there by Nation, who he's got to be over 200 yards tonight receiving.
Pittman in the gun. Inside handoff, DV, not a whole lot there as he's going to be stacked up, and it's going to be a loss of a couple as DV just doesn't look like himself tonight. And I'll give credit to Opelika. I don't think the push has been there as he's used to. Opelika is doing very, very good at the point of attack. They've been able to find ways to get into these gaps. Loss of 1 on the play, 2nd and 11.
There's been a couple of times where he's on burst, and it's been just straight north and south over center. The times where he's tried to bounce it wide, he just hasn't had a lot going for him tonight.
Handoff to DV, puts his foot in the ground there, and that time gets a push and gets 2 guys out in front of him. He's going to get 8 all the way out to the 20-yard line. Up, down, and short.
Yeah, he had some running room right there.
Yeah.
Plenty of space to operate, and was able to put his foot in the ground, make a nice cut, and puts Auburn in a position now where they've got a 3rd and manageable, and just about anything. I probably want to keep the ball on the ground, keep this clock running, but we'll see. Maybe they pull one or a safe pass. You've got a quarterback that's been absolutely on fire tonight. So we'll see how they play this.
Two tight ends set for the Tigers, two receivers to the boundary. And McLean will now come into motion. Here he comes. Pittman, hand it off to DV. DV will put his foot in the ground, and he loses the ball, and that's going to be a touchdown. And that should be a flag taunting. DV got stood up. Defensive lineman snatches the ball away from him and runs for 20 yards. And as he does, pushes Clyde Pittman to the ground and then stares at him for the last yard and a half. And Clyde Pittman gets up, gets right in his face, and points right to the scoreboard.
That was kind of a grown man play by the Opelika defensive tackle right there, because he did just rip the ball out. He didn't know Clyde Pittman was still back there.
Yeah,
I think he was going to kind of high step it into the end zone, and all of a sudden Pittman shows up and he disposes of Pittman very quickly with a stiff arm.
75, Malik Altry, a sophomore defensive lineman.
Oh, wow.
That sophomore class for Opelika is really, really good.
Well, he made one cross to the end zone, and then he just stared down Clyde Pittman, and they're going to go for two here. As they probably,
I mean, you kick a field goal or the PAT at 16, you go for two. Well, I don't know. This is one of those weird situations. 5:04 left to go here, but also Auburn needs to finish this game. Yeah. Trips to the right for Gagliano. Puts the hand down. He's going to roll out to the right, and it's the same play that Auburn ran for the two-point conversion to get a little pick from the slot receiver into the end zone for the two-point conversion. And now both teams, the last two touchdowns have been scored in this game, have been defensive touchdowns.
Yeah, that's right. And you want, like you said, finish the game. Auburn trying to bleed the clock out, run the football, and instead they give up a fumble return for a touchdown. They're going to have to probably now defend an onside kick right here. This is when you want to be able to do what you do best and run the football, get that big offensive line going, get your running back involved, and get north and south. But hey, man, it starts with protecting the ball, and that's something that D. Williams just can't do right there is put that ball on the ground.
Second time that he's fumbled this season, and it's the fourth time that Auburn's fumbled on the year. It's also one of those things of if you're Auburn, I don't think you're afraid to throw the ball right now. The way Clyde Pittman is going,
I agree.
Move the ball, finish it off, and put this game away. It looks like it will be an onside kick situation. Opelika has more numbers than Auburn does on that far side. There's the onside, and a great job there by the Auburn player that's right at 50-yard line, Silas Mason, a senior tight end and also a catcher on the Auburn High School baseball team, smothers that one, puts his chest over the top of it, and Auburn High School will take over at the Auburn 49-yard line.
Well, you can tell they've repped that a lot, because not only did he make a great just catch right there, he didn't wait on it, he went and attacked the football, and then we also had a guy that protected him. That was Leverage that was able to get over the top of him and make sure an Opelika guy didn't come in there and jar the ball loose or just hit a guy that's unprotected. So, well coached, well repped right there.
5:04 left to go here. Tigers lead by 15. Pittman keeps it that time and bounces out, has first down yardage up the middle. He's at the 30, he's at the 20, 15, 10, 5, give him 6. Clyde Pittman, 51 yards out. Races for a touchdown.
Oh. And that feels good after what just happened, where he got stiff-armed and stared down in the end zone. So, hey, the last laugh right there goes to Clyde Pittman, who just outran the entire Opelika defense for that touchdown. Made a great read again. We talked about the zone read and his decision-making, and that time he made a perfect one, and it made him pay.
Auburn has hung half 100 on the Opelika Bulldogs here. 4:54 left to go. Tigers have pushed the lead back to 3 touchdowns. Will Best, PAT is up, and that kick is good. 4:54 left to go here. 50-29 offensive plenty for both teams. With about 5 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. We'll be back in 30 seconds. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
4:54 left to go here. I think I said off air to somebody here that might have said it at halftime. Before then, this felt like it was going to be a Big Ten type game. Well, it is 51-29, and with two programs who hang their hat on playing some defense. Now, the Auburn defense has not given up a point in the second half.
Right. A lot of points scored, a lot of big plays, a lot of just
weirdness.
Weird plays, but man, just an exciting game.
Magoo will send that one away, and it will be a yard deep in the end zone, and Opelika once again will take over at the 20-yard line.
And that's been huge tonight too, Scott, with our kicking.
Yeah.
Being able to get the ball into the end zone and not give up a big play in special teams, that's I'm telling you, the coaches love that.
Yep. And now if you're the Auburn defense, 4:54 left, go finish this thing. Go ahead, go get another turnover.
Yeah, absolutely. Just don't get sloppy. Don't succumb to the conditions. Play to your standard. Get off the football field. Get some guys in here that can run this clock out and get that ball back in your offensive hands.
Boy, for the first time, the white hat was like, all right, here we go.
Well, they huddle over there, and it's like they're trying to not allow you to see what the personnel is, but it doesn't affect Auburn's personnel in the least.
Well, now it's down to 5 seconds left to go on the play clock for Opelika. Claps her hands, and inside zone, and nice little bounce there by the running back, as that was Simpson, and this is going to end up being a flag on somebody. Simpson is kind of frustrated. Last time out, he ended up kind of fighting his way up. And now, to be fair to him, there's a lot of Auburn defenders around him when he's going down, and I understand the frustration. But in a game that's 3 touchdowns with 4 minutes left to go, we don't want to see anything that escalates into something bigger. Gagliano has it, inside handoff once again, and
Deuce White.
Deuce White, Jordan Reese in there. Again, Simpson flies in, and you can see some Auburn seniors in there. Mark Tolan telling everybody to back up. 3rd down and about 3.
Yeah, Opelika seems content to just try to deflate the ball, run this ball, see if they can just push Auburn around and keep the sticks moving. Really not about trying to score.
Well, the other thing is maybe you can find something. I get this is a 3-touchdown game, but let's face facts. Right now, the way this region runs is we might be seeing these two teams again in the playoffs.
That's right.
3.5 left to go. Gagliano, outside zone. A little seam. 1st down yardage for the Opelika back. And that was Calvin Hughley, the sophomore. And I think that's the guy, when he gets healthy, he's going to be able to change this Opelika offense because it's going to create some balance for this dangerous passing attack.
Yeah, they got some running, right towards the end of the first half where they really found some success over the left side. But I agree with you. I think they're a different team when Six has the ball when he's out on the field. They'll have to figure out a way to get him more involved.
And he'll now bounce to the left, Will Hughley. And he's going to take outside zone. Nice patience, and he'll make one guy miss, make a second miss. Bounces off a DB. He's going to get close to the 49-yard line. Gain of 15 for Hughley. Remember the name. I'm going to tell you this. It's Calvin Hughley. I said it about Justin Ross when he was a sophomore at Central. Calvin Hughley is going to be an extremely good football player, and he's going to play college football at somewhere at the next level.
And we talked about Auburn finishing. Right there you see a lot of guys in Auburn uniforms trying to block the running back down. You got to wrap up and just end the threat.
Play action, slant route, and got a hand on it. Pete Davis was – throw the flag. Come on. To the echo of the whistle on that one. Like this – as an offensive lineman carried Octavian Brown into the sideline. It's both ways. I'm not trying to say that, but it's just one of those things where we need to get to the end of this 2:29 in a hurry. Just so both these teams have big games coming up. Opelika, they played 10 straight games.
Yeah.
Auburn has got an off week, and then obviously the big game that now looms. You don't want to lose anything heading into that game.
Well, that was a heads-up play by Rayburn because they tried to sneak a pass in there, and he knocks it down.
Outside zone once again as Deuce White does a fantastic job of forcing the issue, and then Flo from the backside is able to make the tackle on the play for Hughley. Gain of about 1 or 2, third down and long coming up.
Yeah, really like the anchor presence of Deuce White. He's had a really good game tonight. He's been disruptive in this run game and just making his presence known up in that Auburn defensive middle.
Opelika taking their time. This feels like everybody is deflating the ball and calling it a day, and we're going to head to the house.
Yeah, they're just trying to get to the end of the game now, and I think they're trying to avoid having to give Auburn the ball back maybe.
Yeah. Opelika will call a timeout. They didn't want to take a delay. Instead of sitting at the break, Jack got some scores, and hey, you better give me a Brave score. With one of the biggest series towards the end of the year coming up in the last 10, 15 years, I need a Brave score.
Yes, sir, and I got it for you live. We'll go ahead with Scott's recommendation there. And the final score in Game 1 between the Braves and Mets today. Braves hang on to win that one 5-2. The NL East is back up for grabs.
Beat DeGrom, baby.
That's right. And then Alabama Class 7A high school football on the other hand. A couple of close games going on. Prattville and Enterprise coming down to the wire. 28-20 Lions on top of Enterprise still in the fourth quarter. That could be a big upset. Florence and Bob Jones also in it. 35-28 Florence. And Tuscaloosa County maintaining that lead over Spain Park. 38-28. Finally Thompson over Hewitt Drussville 14-6. That one in the fourth quarter. Back to you, Scott.
Boy, there's some scores that in there, namely the Thompson-Hewitt score, and you add in the Hoover-Hewitt score from a couple of weeks ago. There's either the offenses are down or the defenses are really, really good in that region. Those are not scores I'm used to seeing from that region. Gagliano wanted the stick, and Auburn guarded it perfectly, throws it into double coverage. It's been physical all night long. Still no flag on that. I thought because the receiver was down, they might have called it, but no call on that one. Good. Third and 9, go for the stick and stick nod on that one, incomplete fourth down.
Really good no call and really outstanding coverage right there by Jaden Walker. He was not the primary defender on that play. He was covering the wide out and just saw what the route was. It was a slant and go, and he comes off of his wide receiver wide, and he was in the best position to make the play on the ball. Their feet got tangled up. That's why there was a no call.
The other thing there is if he throws the slant, it's a pick.
Yeah.
Ian Nation back deep for Auburn here with about 1:39 left to go. Both teams looking content to just kind of let this thing go. Spiraling kick. Nation will let it bounce and roll, and it will be touchdown at about the 11-12 yard line with 1:27, 1:28 left to go. Davis Harson will be your quarterback, and as Auburn's going to run out this 128, and the biggest thing that Auburn High gets to do now is rest.
Yeah, and they need it. I mean, they've had some this is a battle that they had tonight, and it took all 4 quarters to get to this point. But, they've got – this is the meat of the schedule. And, getting to that bye week and getting ready to play, the most athletic team that they'll play this season.
Yep.
That's going to be important that they self-scout, but also just get guys healed up.
Looks like Auburn will be taking here.
Yeah, they did this tonight with a makeshift defensive backfield.
And no points in the second half.
Yeah.
Auburn High School will take a knee as run out the last couple of seconds of this clock.
You can hear people get mad at Davis Harson for giving up ground right there to take a knee. They don't want those rushing stats to be deflated right there.
The other thing is you don't have a lot of room to drop back. As Auburn's going to win this one 51-29 and even up the overall record against Opelika on the 97th time these two teams have played. And once this one gets under 40 seconds, Auburn High School will be able to take a knee and call it a day. And the senior class will go to 3-0 against Opelika in their career. And now we're going to have to do it again unless – the clock wasn't as quick as it has been in most drives, and that'll do it. Auburn High School is going to win this one by a score of 51-29, a tie ball game at the half. The Auburn offense, special teams, defense explode in third and fourth quarter, and they get to win in this one by a final score of 51-29.
Yeah, just an unbelievable second half by that Auburn team. I mean, they came out and took the opening possession, and a great drive, put it in the end zone, and then just had the big play that really swung momentum in Auburn's favor for good when that snap went over the punter's head when they were trying to rush the play there for Opelika. But really proud of that effort in that second half. That was anybody's ball game going into halftime, and Auburn left no doubt in the second half.
Yeah, and in a game where your running back, DV, a little bit banged up. He didn't play at the end of the game last week against Ramsey, and he guts out his performance. I don't want to act like I was trying to take away. DV just wasn't the same DV that we had seen all year long, and that's because he wasn't 100%. But as we saw on the Auburn side and on the Opelika side, there was a bunch of gutty performances by guys who are not 100%, gutting it out, trying to find a way to help out their team and trying to find a way to get a big region win.
Yeah, and nobody bigger than Clyde Pittman tonight. I mean, what he did was just special. The connections that he had with Ian Nation, some of the decisions that he made, and that's not to take anything away from what Davis Harsin did. I think he led them on probably the most crucial drive when Auburn got down by a touchdown and started the possession inside the 4-yard line, drove the length of the field to score right before the half. That was Davis Harsin's drive. And, so you had outstanding quarterback play tonight on both sides. But you're right, piecing together what they did with some injuries and guys just not 100%, that's a special win for these guys.
51-29 Auburn High School wins. They improved to 7-0 in overall, and also they improved to 5-0 in region play. They will get an off week, and they will get 2 weeks to get ready for the Central Red Devils. And I can tell you from watching some of these kids, the 2 weeks off is going to be very much appreciated as they will get an opportunity to get healthy and get rested up, because it's 3 games to the finish, and then it's 4 games into the playoffs, and Auburn hopes to have a 7 straight game after this first 7.
Yeah, and there are going to be some tough matches. I mean, your Prattville team that's getting better that you're going to get. You're going to get a Central team that's always a war.
Yep.
So, it's a long process to get to the end of the season, but you're right where you want to be, and you couldn't ask for more if you're this coaching staff and you're one of these kids on this team with the opportunity that they have in front of them.
Auburn High beats Opelika 51-29. On the other side of this break, we have the Southern Union State Community College postgame show, and it will continue, and it will start after this break. You're listening to the Auburn High School Sports Network, presented by the Orthopedic Clinic.
Here's to the straggly ones, the lopsided ones, the first ones, the I miss my beard ones. But hey, I look good with this ones. But no way he's grown that in a week ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The, that one. The itchy ones. The never forgotten ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The started late ones. The absolutely filthy ones. The drawn-on ones. The finger ones. The pin ones. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones. And the yeah, why not ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
My name is Carly. I'm 15 years old and I am a heart recipient. I got my first heart transplant when I was 1.5 years old. I got my second heart when I was 13. When I step out on stage, I think I'm communicating with people. I would like to tell them that I want to make a change in life. Like, yeah, you can have 2 heart transplants, but that doesn't stop you from doing the things that you love. When I get my driver's license, of course I'm gonna say yes to be an organ donor because I've been saved twice. So who says I can't save somebody else? It's just the beginning of a new story.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Hello and welcome to AHS Final, and wow, what a game for the 97th overall meeting by Auburn and Opelika. Auburn wins it 51-29 to tie up the series 47-47, and they've also won 5 of the last 6 games against Opelika. Some quick scores across the state. Jeff Davis is currently beating Lee 26-20 late in the 4th. Somebody has to win, between the two teams. And then Foley is currently down by 2 on the road against number 2 Fairhope, 38-36. And that would be Fairhope's first loss if they end up losing to Foley. And then Prattville is about to beat Enterprise. That is a big one. Prattville is up 35-20 late in the 4th. And then Hewitt, Trussville, and Thompson are locked in a big matchup. Thompson is winning 14-12 late in the 4th quarter. And then some key highlights from this game. You look, Auburn played very well in the second half, including they had almost all of their touchdowns in the second half. And you look at some positives and negatives from this game. For Opelika, Auburn started the game well, Opelika, some of the positives for them is they started the game well. Air raid was working. Through the second half, though, one of the negatives is, a huge negative going forward, is execution. They tried a couple of trick plays, including a trick punt, where they actually had Auburn off the field, and it was perfect. They could have run for a touchdown, but they ended up snapping it basically 40 yards over the QB's head, and it ended up being a safety for Auburn. And also a lot of drop passes for Opelika. There's some things they need to touch up on. And then if you look at Auburn, a positive is they started the second half strong. This is something talked about in the pregame show, talked about halftime. They need to start the second half strong. But then also you look at a negative, they need to play the entire game. The first half they did play well, but they didn't play to their full potential, and so play the entire game. No sloppy mistakes like towards the end. They had a scoop and score by Opelika that made the score a little bit closer, but Auburn had already decided, they already won. The fate of the game was already decided. And with that, they won the game 51-29, and also with a win over Central on the road after this upcoming bye week for Auburn. So in 2 weeks, they go on the road at Central. If they win that game, Auburn would clinch number 1 in Region 2 for 7A football. But that's going to do it for AHS Mass Media. I hope y'all enjoyed the stream, and we'll see you next year, or we'll see you next week, actually, when Auburn plays volleyball against Prattville. And then we'll also see you 2 weeks from now when Auburn plays Central on the road. But that's going to do it, and go Tigers.